5:30. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, gather around. We got stuff to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Rob Thompson. No, AJ. He is in court today. Let's all keep our fingers crossed.
Let's hope he doesn't go away.
He got a new suit. He's going to go meet his PO. See if he doesn't have to tell his neighbors about what he's done in the past. See if we can get rid of that. That was an ugly time in his past.
He doesn't have to register.
We're hoping he doesn't have to do that anymore. We don't have to tell anybody where he's going or where he's been. They should be out. So he'll be gone today. I'll be in here for the next 4 hours. Mike McCarthy is due here in about 45 minutes. We'll talk with him about prep for 2 games in, let's do the math, 5 days? 2 days and 5 days? Getting ready for the Commanders on Sunday, minus a bunch of dudes. We'll talk with him today at a little after 6:45. And I don't know. I don't know. What do you talk with a guy that?
I know. What are you going to say?
Well, we'll just we're buds. I've talked with McCarthy once a week, 16 times a year,
Right.
for the last 5 years.
Wow.
Since he's been here. I don't claim to know the guy, but I've been around. I've spent enough time around him where you can get the sense of where somebody is, and it is obvious by his demeanor and his actions, at least to me, that he knows it's over.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's no fool.
The entire world knows it's over.
Well, no, I mean, it could. Jerry's crazier than Let's. He hadn't done it yet, but I think the expectation is it's over, and this weekend is such an interesting matchup with Dan Quinn, his former DC, the dude that got him to the heights and now might be doing the same thing with another team. You got that. You got injuries. Mm-hmm. You got a quarterback he says he should have played more, but he doesn't feel obligated to. We'll talk with him about that. Let's get to the fun stuff. Apart from the frozen tundra of the Cleveland football stadium, we had comeback
that
nights.
was cool, man.
Cleveland takes one late at home as Jameis Winston gets a second act. A nice win for the Cleveland Browns, taking down the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-19 with a late touchdown from Nick Chubb. But the story is going to be Jameis Winston. He took over Stefanski's team. The team believes in him, and they went and beat a beatable Pittsburgh team. I don't think anybody felt like Pittsburgh was a juggernaut, but that's a hell of a win for a team that needed it. Jameis Winston certainly has earned it. But if you ask George Pickens, everything was the refs' fault in the weather. But Cleveland takes a nice win. We'll look at what Stefanski did and look at the rest of the NFL as we prep for one of those separation weekends. Those that are going are gone, and those are trying. And it's about time to pick things up. So we'll look forward to there. Also, lots of college football today, this weekend. UTSA wakes up and plays yet another Friday game. They're welcoming in Temple. It's this is like the homecoming game. This is the game you schedule against what you expect to be 0-9, 0-10. Back in 2 years from now or ago, to let all your seniors play and let all the parents, let everybody come and hang out and have one final blowout for the regular season. This should be a fun game tonight as they welcome Temple and the hapless Owls in tonight. The 6 o'clock kick will get you ready for what should be a pretty easy win. I got some tickets for you tonight. Nick Swartzen.
Yeah.
What's his toilet head tour?
Toilet head tour, something like that.
We got some. I'm gonna give those away this hour. I do have UTSA tickets and Brigade Bar. I'm gonna reserve those UTSA tickets for you guys.
There we go.
I'm not sure how we're gonna do it, but we're gonna do it after we. I'm gonna say in the 9 o'clock hour.
Okay.
For those that are dedicated, them that truly care. We'll do that in the 9 o'clock hour. I've also got, what else do I got today?
Let's see. story so far.
That's it. The story so far show. Tickets for the 7th at Boeing Center. A lovely stocking stuffer.
Yep, perfect.
We'll do that about 9 o'clock. So that's where we are. If you're just joining us, jump on the Brigade Bar. If you can, stay listening to us all afternoon. We got all kinds of stuff going on all weekend long. For a lot of us, if you're just waking up now, probably jumping in the shower, doing whatever you need to do. It's a getaway day. A lot of people taking next week off. We've reached it, man. We have come to the holiday season. This is it.
This is it, man.
I mean, if you probably, in all seriousness, if you got a turkey in the freezer, you probably need to start taking it out. Probably need to pull it today, right?
Yep.
It probably takes 2-3 days to.
Probably Sunday, maybe.
You think Sunday?
It depends it depends on how big the bird is.
I don't pretend to be an expert there. I got mine from Tri-County. It's going to be.
Oh, then yours wasn't.
It's still
frozen.
running around. I'm going to go pick him out.
I know. I was going to say, don't you still have to?
I get to pick him. I get to pick which one I like. They're going to take care of that. No, I'm not. I don't have a frozen one, but I do recall it's 4 or 5 days early. So it might be time to go ahead and prep that. So I guess we got to hit the shopping this weekend. Yeah, because
we're going Sunday morning.
Sunday morning?
Yeah.
Have you got your turkey?
Not yet. We're going to get it Sunday. So and we already made room for it. And
how are you going to do it? You going to bake it, smoke it, fry it?
We got a new oven.
Rock and roll.
So we're going to break that in.
I'm a firm proponent of smoking a turkey. I know AJ says that's about the best thing he does, and he's given me his new, he's got a rub.
Oh, really?
He got a fancy dry rub. And he calls it a dry marinade. So
There's so many rubs and.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to choose, and I don't want to spend money tasting them. So,
you
got to give us the
in
lowdown.
my experience, truly in my experience, unless it is the rub or whatever you grab has a truly unique ingredient.
Okay.
There's not truly unique. There's a fair amount of variance in the type of pepper and the way the pepper feels in the heat, and whether there's more brown sugar or less. But for the most part, I've never really had a rub of any significance, and I say significance, one that I purchased in a store of any size or that I didn't like.
Really?
Seriously. But if you grab one and you go, number one ingredient is lavender, you're probably not going to like it. But, if you pay attention to what's in it, I've never run into a situation where somebody gave me a rub, and, that's one of those things that people know I grill and barbecue. That's a common gift item. I bet I got 25 different rubs in my little barbecue cabinet right now.
So when you barbecue, do you just reach your hand in there and then kind of close your
eyes?
eyes?
Some days I do. Some days I just grab two, and I like, well, this one's yellow and this one's red. Let's try these two together. And I've never been let down. I've always come out okay. So I wouldn't worry about that. And like I said, unless, of course, you look at the ingredients and you go, like, the first one is dried raspberries. You're like, I don't think I'm going to like that. No matter what you do.
I am a fan of the Fiesta Uncle Chris.
You can't go wrong with any of the Uncle Chris is one thing, I think.
Yeah.
But
I just like the flavor.
There's I think Kinder's. Kinder, Kindr, has a couple of that I think are spectacular, that are separate and apart. But everybody's got theirs. And I'm sure that yours is as good or better than mine. But as far as the rubs on that, I would never worry about that. My big question, I think I do turkeys better in the oven.
Oh, yeah.
As a guy who I've got barrel smokers, and I got Traeger smoker, and I think I do turkeys better in the oven. I like a crispy shell, a crispy skin.
Well, it's easier too because you're not outside in case it's cold or hot. You don't have to worry about it.
And that's the easy way out. But for me, the easiest way is to fry it. Go Cajun on it. The easiest, best way as far as...
My neighbor does that.
I mean, there's a danger factor of about 8.
His would be higher.
There's a danger factor to
he doesn't care.
A cauldron of seething peanut oil. It's not the thing you want, especially by the time you put that thing in. Everybody's had a few of the stuff in the cooler.
A couple of years ago, he didn't thaw out the turkey all the way through.
That's what I'm talking about. So if you're going to fry, make sure you pull the turkey out today, or what you're basically creating is a mortar.
I actually saw him earlier this week walking to the backyard with a fire extinguisher this year. And I'm like, no,
but
it's not going to happen.
I like a deep fried turkey as much as the next guy. I do, but sometimes
it's so good, though.
It really is a good turkey.
Yeah.
But
I'm lazy.
There is a consistency, a mouthfeel to the meat of a fried turkey that is unique. And if you don't like it, especially on the dark meat part, a lot of people don't really appreciate that. But for me, it's the easiest and fast way to do it, though I appreciate the way a baked turkey comes out. Now, I get the smoked turkey stuff. I do love it. But the separator for me, and this is just a personal thing, is I like a crispy skin. And a smoked turkey just doesn't have that.
Yeah, I always eat the drumstick. I'm a drumstick guy.
Oh,
I
man.
usually eat that or the wing. But
So
I don't eat the white meat of the turkey.
how many people are you going to have at the house at the Casa?
Let's see.
How many are you going to be cooking for?
I'd say probably about 10.
10. We're going to be doing 14.
Yeah.
So
20-pound bird?
I'm going to do a 20-pound bird, and we're also going to do a ham, which I won't eat anything of.
We do ham for Christmas.
I don't like ham. I don't like any kind of ham.
I
don't like
ham.
fried ham. I don't like ham sandwiches. I don't like sweet ham. I don't like spiral cut ham.
It's all about the ham.
I don't like brown sugar ham. I don't like any kind of ham hock. I like ham hocks in my beans.
You don't eat pig's feet?
Do pig's feet taste like ham? If they do, then no, I don't like them.
I love ham is good.
I know. I am one of the people on this planet. I feel like, what am I missing? I don't know what I'm missing that everybody loves. And I keep thinking, well, maybe I'm not having the right ham.
Did you eat Spam growing up?
See, I don't like Spam.
Okay.
And you're right. It's maybe that's where it came from, because Spam and ham taste a lot alike to me.
I've been eating ham and Spam since, the early 70s.
The only time I've ever eaten Spam that I actually kind of enjoyed, I didn't know I was eating Spam, and it was in Hawaiian sushi.
See, so it's a mind thing.
Well, yeah, I didn't know what it was, and I thought it was.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was. It was sushi. It was like
it's something you don't eat every day, though.
And I was eating, and I was like, well, that might be the first time I've ever liked ham. And they go, no, that's not ham. That's Spam.
And you're all confused.
Well, now I don't like it again. Now it's off the list. It was on the list for just a minute. Now it's completely off the list. Hey, we've got a bunch to do today. So I'm alone. I'm floating on this raft, and I'm trying to drive it, and Victor's trying to keep us moving forward. He's pushing the motor, and I'm driving it. So we want your help here today. Hey, so jump on the Brigade Bar if you can. It's at SA Sports Star. You can pop on over and listen to us there on our YouTube feed. Come and watch us live. I combed my hair today. So to give
I know. Look at that.
Look at it's flowing. I got the flow action today.
You got conditioner, didn't
I'm going to be hanging out with a bunch of hunters for the next 4 days.
Oh, yeah. So
I'm going to let me turn off my mic there. I'm headed north up to North Ingram, and so I showered, because this will be the last time I showered
for 4 days, right?
For Monday, because evidently
Did you remember deodorant?
No, see, deer don't like deodorant. You got to get that funk going.
That's why I don't go hunting.
And for those of you, I think there's probably a lot of people heading out to their leases this week.
Right.
For the first time. We thought it was going to be a nice cold snap. It's going to be 85 on Sunday.
It's going to be 80 degrees.
And I will state again, for those of you who haven't been to a deer camp recently, that have been going to deer camps, hunting, whatever, tents, cabins, whatever it might be for your life, the single greatest thing that has happened to hunting ever has nothing to do with anything that you used on the hunt. I'll tell you what that is on the other side. We're talking Spurs and a comeback. We're talking snow, and we're talking Cowboys. Hold on tight. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your early morning commute, they did pick up that road work finally. 35 southbound Evans on down to Olympia Parkway. We are getting reports of a stall on 35 southbound Division. This is on the south side. It's off to the shoulder. On Medical, between Fredericksburg to Fairhaven, northwest side of town, there's a structure fire, apartment complex fire, so we've got several fire units on the scene. Please be very careful in and around that area. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
What's that? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. things people love.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
The gummies were.
The gummies are legal?
Ask J.D. Ryan, man. I bought some, and boy,
you got a Woody?
No, it was awful.
He tripped right off.
Oh my God!
Did you buy that at the store?
Yes.
They take a while to hit, and when they hit, it just accelerates. And finally, you got to eat some pie.
I gave the rest of them to Bob.
JD didn't have any pie.
I had no pie.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we pay tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks. The unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at H-E-B.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-277-3355. That's 800-277-3355. 800-277-3355.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner, so he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Beat the Black Friday rush during Black Friday Build-Up at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 50% off select major appliances. Plus, get an extra 10% off when you buy a major appliance from Whirlpool, like the new Smart Range with air cooking and a wipe clean coating. Shop these deals in-store or online now, because Lowe's knows deals. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 11/6 through 12/4. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details.
Introducing TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league on ESPN and ESPN+. This isn't your average Sunday pickup game. To learn more, visit tglgolf.com and tune into the inaugural season beginning January 7th. Keep up. It's golf.
Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas, open to the public 7 days a week with a country club feel. It's football season, so book your tee times early at golfclubtexas.com and stick around and watch the games. Make Golf Club of Texas your football headquarters where you can watch every game. They'll even stay open until the end of every NFL game, including Thursday, Sunday, and Monday nights. Get into the Tin Cup Bar at the Golf Club of Texas, Highway 90 at Briggs Ranch Road. Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to USASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com. You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
What we need on a Friday is more cowbell. Really fill the space. Mike McCarthy is imminent. He is about to pull his car into the car wash, and he'll be sliding toward us in about 30 minutes as we look forward to a spectacular Sunday morning. Early kick for Cowboys and Commanders. I wonder if they're going to have weather like they had up in Cleveland last night.
Yeah.
I see where the Northwest has a bomb cyclone followed by some sort of oceanic river. I don't know what the hell's going on. They're getting like 15 inches and 5 feet of snow up there.
Yeah, it's over there.
And then up in the northeast, we saw what's going on over on the Mistake by the Lake, the old Cleveland Stadium, covered in snow and victory. As Jameis Winston getting interviewed yesterday. Whenever I hear Jameis talk, he sounds like Eddie Murphy doing an imitation of Jameis Winston,
right?
It doesn't sound like that's somebody's real voice. It sounds like somebody doing an imitation of him. We'll have to pull some sound out of him. Now, we went to break. I'm going camping this week. It's my big getaway weekend. I do it every year. Minix and I are going. Minix got him a new rifle.
Oh, I heard you talking about that.
Pretty 308, beautiful new gun. Man. So we're going up to the beautiful God's country up there north of Kerrville, and we are going to cultivate large hooved antlered animals. But for anybody who's ever gone camping or hunting at a camp with with people you don't know, there's hunting camps that we all know are the fancy stuff. And this one's kind of fancy. I'm not gonna lie. And you go to these like nice, and they're bunkhouses, and you got a cook that cooks you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They take care of you, but it's not your own. You rarely have I been to any place that you have your own room. If you do, normally it's your own tent. So normally you're sharing a bunkhouse with a bunch of dudes you don't know in these kind of corporate getaway hunts.
Right.
And used to, it was a race to get into bed first so you could get to sleep before the bears came to bed. The snoring, farting.
Oh, God. See, that's why I don't
anybody who's spent any time with most adult men know that there's going to be snoring involved. Then you throw in the hill country and the pollen and the stuff that just goes on when you go hunting. And then you combine eating somebody else's food. Not your wife's cooking or you're cooking, where you're accustomed to the spice load. It does
at the mercy of what they eat.
Yeah, you don't know. Yeah, you're accustomed to a certain level of spice, and anything more might affect you both. Gastrically. And you might have a little extra. All I can think of is the scene from way back when, the bean scene in the Mel Brooks movie. You want Blazing Saddles.
Oh, yeah,
You want any more beans? And I think you boys have had enough.
Oh.
Well, you walk into a bunkhouse about 10:30 on a bunkhouse Friday night on a lease. Okay. So everybody's going to try to get up early Saturday morning.
At 3, 4 in the morning, something like that?
Yeah, get up at 3, cover yourself in deer urine. Grab yourself a couple of Nutribars, an apple.
Nah, I'm a dove hunter.
And head on out and get cold and sitting still for 2 hours waiting for what's coming. But that 5 hours in between, you got to go spend time in a room full of snoring, farting. So the greatest thing that has happened to hunting ever is the CPAP machine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
They take their CPAPs with them?
Oh, yeah. And most of the people that I know that I have gotten the CPAP, it has changed their lives to the extent that they travel with them.
So there's electricity where you go.
Yeah. No, this is not.
It's not like really, really, really.
No, I'm not roughing it. No,
Okay.
this is. we will be.
You have
Mix
satellite.
and I will have.
You have TV and satellite.
Of course. We have. This is no lie. The entire weekend we're there, we are going to have a Beard Award-winning chef cooking for us. For those of you who don't know, a Beard Award is like the Heisman Trophy.
Man,
cooking.
we just stop and get Dairy Queen on the way home. That's
No. I'm about to go eat like a king for the next 4 days. This guy won a Beard Award for barbecue for a restaurant called Smoke up in Dallas about 20 years ago. He works with a group, and he comes in and cooks for the hat. No, I'm about to go live like a king. I'm not about to go rough it. But the only thing about this was going and having to go camp with these dudes that it was awful. It's just one of the worst things. You kind of get used to it after some time. But a room, this is a room full of probably 10 guys, bunk beds.
Do y'all compare who's got the biggest caliber weapon?
Well,
my gun's bigger than yours.
Well, there's certainly a fair amount of what do you pack?
Oh yeah. What do you got?
What do you got over there?
Yeah. I got a 270.
Well,
I have a 308.
And here's the thing.
What?
I hunt to this day with the rifle that my daddy gave me. Yeah. I have other rifles. I have a big gun. I have an elk gun when I went and did that. I have a big one.
You have an elephant gun?
I do not need a Winchester 300 Magnum.
Oh.
In Texas.
But
it's fun to have. It's a nice. If I ever wanted to pull off a 400-yard shot, I would be able to do it. But I'm never going to do that.
No, when men buy a gun, they don't buy what they need.
Well, then there's the guys that have. We all have the friend that has the weapon for every occasion.
Oh yes.
If it's going to be a dress affair, they've got this one.
They got
that one. It's going to be slightly humid. If I'm going to be shooting uphill, I'm going to need this one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be there with a bunch of those guys. And they pull up with, 2 or 3 and different weapons and this and that and this mag scope and this and that.
Yeah.
And I pull out my 243, my Winchester 243 that I believe, I'm not kidding, was probably made in the late 50s.
Wow. I have a 410 that was made in the 40s.
And
410 Winchester.
That gun has never let me down. It is accurate to 150 yards.
Yeah, they don't make them like they used to.
Put it on a penny, man. But, I can't take down the big stuff, although I have.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's something that
It's about where you hit it.
Well, that's exactly right. Yeah. I took down an Aoudad. For those who know, I took down an Aoudad with a 243.
Really? Interesting.
From about 170 yards uphill.
I can't see that far.
Took him down with a 243. The thing didn't even know it hit him.
Brilliant.
He thought it was a mosquito bite, and then his knee.
And then he just
ow! That's it.
And then he toppled over.
He didn't need nothing. He didn't. He was mid-chew, man. It was over. It's going to be a good weekend. Spurs last night with a ridiculous comeback. What Chris Paul has meant to this team will ripple through the Spurs for the next 5 years. What he is bringing, he and Harrison Barnes, what they call Barnes Unk.
Oh yeah.
And call CP boss, because while the numbers that he is offering every night aren't going to jump off the page, I cannot help but think of what I saw from Chris Paul back about 5 years ago in Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. He had it was him and a bunch of kids, and he took them to the playoffs. This team is now 500, have won 2 straight without Wemby. Wemby's about to be an all-NBA guy. I think we need to reevaluate where we are, but there's one question that's going to linger that we're going to have to look at all day. It's gotten kind of quiet. We're a couple of weeks away out from Pop and the minor stroke. We're not talking about it anymore, and that's going to be kind of how this goes.
Okay.
And I think we need to start looking at Mitch realistically as the future. And is his grade up to par? What do you think of him now? Because we've gotten a good taste of him with Wemby, without Wemby. We've gotten an opportunity to see guys coming off the bench. I think we had last night a replacement. I think somebody took somebody's job last night. I think one of the guys that a lot of you Spurs fans have been complaining about has just lost his seat on the bench. I think it happened last night. And we're going to talk about that just a little bit after 7 o'clock. But just around the corner, we got the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, is going to join us for his weekly. If you are on the Brigade Bar, I asked you a question just a little bit ago. I put in there, anybody who's on the Brigade Bar right now, if you want to answer that question at 656-3776, they're yours. That's all I'm going to say. A Brigade Bar, you know who you are. If you want it, 656-3776. If you're not on the Brigade Bar and you want it, 656-3776. And the first one to call and say, what is it, or wants to get it, will get it. And you'll find out what that is on the other side. Mike McCarthy's coming. Hold on tight. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, we are jam-packed, and it all starts with the Dallas Cowboys. Stephen Jones will join us at 2:30.
Aggies have a big game against Auburn. Andrew Monica, the voice of the Aggies, at 3:35.
And we've got John Machota coming up at 5:15.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your early morning commute, they did pick up that road work finally. 35 southbound Evans on down to Olympia Parkway. We are getting reports of a stall on 35 southbound Division. This is on the south side. It's off to the shoulder. On Medical, between Fredericksburg to Fairhaven, northwest side of town, there's a structure fire, apartment complex fire, so we've got several fire units on the scene. Please be very careful in and around that area. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 6:30. The Aggies take on the Auburn Tigers. Presented by Ewald Kubota and the Angry Elephant. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Jason Minix here from the Blitz for Underdog Fantasy, the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching sports. And I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. Think basketball, think football. You can mix, you can match across your other favorite sports and leagues and win money watching sports. And this season, Underdog will be running a special promo or bonus almost every single day, like Profit Boost. Pump up your winnings in just a tab when you apply the boost to eligible entries. Discounts, you'll get adjusted projections on certain player stats to give you a better shot at the win, and they're basically a sure thing with their free picks. A player just has to get higher than 0.5 for that stat pick to win. All new users get a free pick. So download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Promo code STAR. Must be 18 or over, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
When you're hiring, ZipRecruiter's technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. What if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
At Progressive, we know there's a lot of things you can track. Steps, calories, heart rate, your pet steps, screen time, the whereabouts of your favorite celebrity, how long you slept, how long you didn't sleep, how long you thought about sleeping, how long you thought about sleeping. But none of these things could save you money. Unlike Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate based on how and how much you drive. It's much better for your bottom line than tracking your Cocker Spaniel's resting heart rate. So download the Progressive app today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now, sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first. On your timeline, no waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades at no upfront cost. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first, sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyer4us.com.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy goes one-on-one and has some fun with the Morning Huddles, AJ and Rob, Friday mornings.
Now, you don't got a contract. You got nothing to lose. Is a 70-yard field goal in the offing soon? Will we see that this year?
It depends on the win this week.
Mike McCarthy's unfiltered look at the Cowboys' upcoming game. Friday mornings at 6:45 and 9. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. The NFL lives right here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Mike McCarthy going to be here in just a couple minutes. Edmund's going to place that call in about 30. It's his car wash day. I feel like I'm going to be sitting in with a condemned man that's hoping for, you know what I mean? Like, so what do you want to talk about today, Coach?
I mean, you can read the writing on the wall.
I know you're no fool.
Yeah.
And this is not only, it's a terrible time, but this is his busy time of year. You got a game on Thursday, and you got to get through Wednesday to get to Thursday. He'll be here in just a couple of minutes. His owner was on the Fan yesterday addressing a couple of things. First and foremost, I don't know if anybody watched or if you were in between buffering on the Netflix gig last Friday night for the Tyson Paul fight. Jerry was on with all the fight dudes along with Michael Irvin, and there was a whole bunch of talk about Deion taking over for the Cowboys. That was Irvin bringing it up on TV. Well, he was Jerry yesterday, Vic. Let's play some Jerry 1. Jerry was asked about Deion's coaching rumors.
I think we're way ahead of ourselves relative to when and if he decides to go into coaching in the NFL. And one of his greatest skills that he really brings to college is that he is almost has no peer as far as being a recruiter. And, kids want to come play for him, and he has a way of selling that. And that is one skill, that recruiting skill, that is not a huge prerequisite for NFL coaches. And so one of his greatest values is in that area of putting the team together and in the sense of getting great talent to come and play for him there at Colorado. So all of that would go into your mind, but make no mistake about it, he's one of the top people, young and old, that I've been around in the NFL.
An interesting response. That wasn't a no. It was just, hey, the thing he's good at is recruiting, and it's a little bit different here. But that was certainly not a no.
Right.
It's been a rough week. This is the numbers for the Cowboys are, they're quite frankly, for those of us that have been fans for a minute, they're just ridiculous. I mean, the numbers, they're things that, the underdogs, the losses, how they've lost, the home losses, the records that they're setting. This hasn't been seen for 30 years, not since the 1-16, the deficits they're running into.
Oh, yeah.
And as we come through the end of the year, you wonder, okay, so how, obviously we hear from the players, Micah telling us that this is a damn good defense. We've got players believing that there's a chance to turn it, and that hope always springs eternal. But when you've got the number of issues that this team is facing, from being next to last in rushing the football, to CD getting the number of targets that you'd expect. He's, second in the league in targets, but he hadn't had a 100-yard receiving game. To a quarterback that even McCarthy said earlier this week the third stringers probably should have played more. There's holes everywhere. And here we go in the fastest 9 days in football. Decisions have to be made as we get closer and closer to it. McCarthy is just around the corner. And as the Cowboys' fortunes dropped, did anybody see the CMA Awards the other day? Where Peyton Manning, with what's her name, Kelsey Ballerina, whatever her name is, we're going back and forth, and Jerry's being blown up on just regular entertainment shows now. That's the kind of thing that changes attitudes. Inside the sports world, he's told us, look, man, I've been doing this a long time. I know what I'm doing. And whether we believe it or not, which he shouldn't, he does, and that's really all that matters. But when those from the other parts of the entertainment sphere start poking fun, I think that's where it hurts. And it's only going to get worse if things continue where they are. McCarthy is imminent to join us, and the questions about the offensive line have continued. I can't wait to ask him as to where we sit there in preparation for I think when you look at where the Commanders have been and where they're going, there's some I think there's been a plateau over the last couple of weeks. As good as Jaden has been, he's still a rookie, and it has been a little evident over the last couple of weeks, and it's been evident that, he had kind of covered up for the fact that the wide receiver core was good but not great. But he was able to kind of maneuver his way through that. The running backs, he had 2 of them, but they didn't add up to one total. But the sum total of what they had been doing was enough for wins. Now, it's starting to look like the questions are going to be asked. And the Cowboys do have an opportunity. This is a team in Washington that, they've got a good record, but as we like to say, you are what your record says you are. But we watched an 8-2 team last night go down to Cleveland. It's not impossible for what we think could happen to happen on Sunday. But in your mind, what has to be the thing that does? And I think consistently the answer is you're going to have to run the football. You're going to have to keep your defense off the field. You're going to have to protect whatever quarterback you've got behind you. You're going to have to run the football. And the answer to that question, with the offensive line issues that they've had, with the running back issues that they continue to deal with, it just seems like you're not going to be able to do that. It's going to be one of the most telling 9 days in the last 25 years. I'll go back to the end of the Dave Campo era, when I think Jerry had just had enough of trying, and he went for the guy that had been here and done that again in a different way, laid down the law, changed the momentum, let somebody come in and be the fixer and kind of give Jerry a buffer until Jerry wore him down. But I think by the time we talk again a week from Monday, after we've gone through these 2 games, I think we'll have a pretty good idea of the imminent departure, or the questions will be back about when McCarthy will actually, if and when that contract will actually expire. I was reading earlier a couple of the periphery sites. There's a lot of call now for right tackle Terrence Steele, San Antonio's own. Might be time to go. After the injury in 22, the decline has just been to the point where it's hard to justify what's going on there. And I know how important that offensive line is to coach. I think when McCarthy looks at the issues and things that need to be fixed and fixed first, I think his offensive line is always right there. And the top 2 things, if that can get worked out, everything will get a little bit easier behind and in front. Control the ball, keep that defense off the line of scrimmage, or keep them off the field, and just kind of protect what little you've got. He said last week, and I can't wait to get the answer about, all we want is to finish drives with kicks. And I don't care which one. Whether it's a field goal or a punt, let's just not give the ball away. And the first opportunity, we didn't kick. The very first, I get down in distance and situation, but you do operate under a set of ideas that should always be your backstop. This is our plan. We're going to stick to it until not. This was the first possession of the game. The last thing we want to do is lose momentum in a game that as soon as we lose, we know we can't get back. And you don't kick. Let's hope that desperation doesn't continue. because that's when it just exposes you absolutely. Last night, the snow game, I wonder how we practice for the weather that we expect up in D.C. It certainly won't be nearly as cold, but you do expect that the weather will play a role. Let's hope it's the good kind of role. It looks like we're going to be, in the mid-80s here in South Texas. I'm feeling a little jealous as we get in there. Coach McCarthy is imminent as he's jumped in the car wash, and if you're just joining us on the Brigade Bar, I want to thank Cody. I think Cody took our Nick Swardson tickets. Nick Swardson is coming to the let's get the exact place where he's coming to. I don't want to sell him short for those who want to still go. He is coming to the Aztec December the 6th. We're just a couple weeks out with his Toilet Head tour. Funny dude, and I want to thank Cody for getting on the Brigade Bar and coming in. Now, I do have more tickets. I'm going to give away UTSA Temple tickets. They're going tonight. Temple's in town. It's going to be a fun one. This is one of those games that you go and have a good time because Temple should be sacrificial coming in, winding down their season. UTSA coming off their biggest win of the year. Bowl eligibility is here. There'll be a chance to go see them tonight. Tailgate with the best of them down at the Alamo Dome. And we've got some UTSA Temple tickets to give away in the 9 o'clock hour. So Brigade Bar, you've been fairly warned. Everybody else, be here in a couple hours. We're going to give those away. We have anything else, Edwin, to give away? I think we've got some other. We might have Rod Stewart to give away as well. High school football carrying on as the playoffs go. Jason Minnick's free tonight.
Story so far. And
there we go.
Yeah, that's it. And UTSA tickets.
And the story so far tickets, let's give away right after McCarthy gets done. So let's go ahead and schedule. If you want to go see the story so far, we're going to do this at 7:15 to get it out of the way. The story so far is going to be at the Boeing Center at December the 7th. It'll be down at the Tech Port. It's going to be a good show, a good stocking stuffer, and about 7:15, just after we come back from break, we're going to offer those to you. So if you want to go, hang around as we get in there. Last night, watching the Jameis Winston comeback, it's proof yet again that if you've got a team that kind of believes and a quarterback that's got just a little bit of something and a little bit of home field, it helps. I think for the Cowboys, the best thing that can happen is to get on the road. To hit the road and get away from all those distractions. It seems like the Cowboys, especially McCarthy in this era, getting on the road has been something that they've been fairly successful at. So while we look at the line and it's going to be hovering around 10 o'clock, remember this is a team that's much better on the road when they get away from all the static that is Dallas. But can you do that with a backup quarterback and a third-string quarterback that we expect to see a little bit more of? That's really going to be the answer to the question as we head up to a reinvigorated Washington Commander roster. Hey, let's go ahead and jump on. Coach Mike McCarthy joins us every week. He's brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds on the regular. Hey, good morning, Coach. How's your Friday?
It's going well. It's been a quick week. How are you doing today?
Coach, I've been doing great, and it's a quick week. And does it feel? Is this a good time for a quick week?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think anytime you don't get it done, you want to get back at it. So, but as you know, this is the same schedule every week, so you're always kind of gearing up for this stretch.
You guys are good at this. There's no getting around it. You've done it so many times. What's the toughest thing to get accustomed to, other than, of course, your body and coming back from all the injuries? But the turnaround and the scouting, what's the secret to that you've picked up over the years?
Well, just staying in front of it. We do a lot, even in a normal 7-day week, where our coaches work ahead. So you definitely have to just do more of that down the stretch. Like our coaching staff was working on the Giants here last night, and we'll continue to do that tonight and all the way through. Going up to Washington, and probably spend some time at the hotel working on the Giants. So you just got to keep working ahead, and your assistant coaches really carry the water in this situation.
It's crazy to me that you can put together 2 game plans at once. And when you get that idea, obviously the nomenclature stays the same, but the ideas change. How do you translate that to practice, knowing that just the 4 hours earlier you were looking at the Giants?
Well, I think the biggest thing I know for me personally is just to make sure you go back and I'll watch tape, leading up in the locker room leading up to the game, because I just think that when I was younger, you're like you just said, you're watching tape of the Giants, and you're working Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday you get into the game, and even as an assistant, you see a defense, you're like, well, oh, wait a minute, that's not this week, that's next week. So, but yeah, it's training. It's part of your regiment, and you have to do it that way. That's the only way you're able to keep up with the pace and volume and stay on top of yourself, Scott, and all the little things to make sure you're giving the guys a good plan.
Looking at the Commanders, it's a team that looks like they kind of plateaued. What's the film looking like with Jaden over the last couple of weeks? Are you seeing some tendencies that he's kind of landing into kind of situations that you know how to defend him now that there's some tape on him?
Well, I think it's more about the offense too. You get to the common concepts and what's next, but they're coming off of kind of a mini bye week, coming off the Thursday night game. So we'll definitely get more wrinkles than they've showed the last couple of weeks. But he does look very, very, very comfortable in their scheme, and has started out like gangbusters. But I think he's putting together a heck of a year, especially for a rookie quarterback.
I'll tell you what, his comfort I think is most surprising to me. What is it that jumps off the paper to you?
Comfort.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you speaking on?
Just as there's some guys just have it. He's got it, but it's hard for me to define what that is.
Well, I think he's number one. I think that whole group of quarterbacks coming in the league we're seeing was an excellent class. And he was definitely one of the ones at the top. But just his experience in college. He's played a lot of football. Has a skill set to run and throw it. Anywhere on the field, and I think just the up-tempo pace offense he really fits it, and his ability to also stress the defensive contain front with his run ability, keeps him in positive situations when he is in space, and I think when you're able to play that way, run and pass, you're keeping him in a really clean first and second down where he can. He doesn't have to do a ton of things from a read progression in the pocket, and they do a nice job on third down. But the young man is a very natural pocket passer too. That's one thing I know at LSU. I was very impressed with on his college tape. But he's definitely running at a much effective rate in this offense.
How much and this is just a broad question in the NFL, how much of offenses come to the younger quarterback as opposed to younger quarterbacks learning the NFL style?
Well, I think that's really the reflection of the system,
right?
That they walk into. I mean, I've always felt offensively more than defensively, your system has to be able to accommodate the many skill sets coming out of college football. I think defensively, because of the demand of the offense and the number of scheme, the volume of scheme, the variety of schemes that you see, that the profile for a defensive player needs to be more specific to the system. So to answer your question, I think when you're looking at a quarterback and how you want to play on offense, systematically, I've always felt that, and I've always preferred the athletic quarterback. I was never a preference for a guy that just can stand in a pocket and beat you, because the defensive lines in today's NFL, everybody has 5 number 1 picks up front. So the ability to move the quarterback to me has always been critical. And even when you go back to the San Francisco teams in the 80s, with Montana and Young, those guys always averaged 25, 30 yards of rushing a game. And that's that hidden yardage that, the defense, it just would drive you crazy. So I've always preferred the athletic quarterback, and Jaden definitely fits into that profile.
Can you make a less than athletic mobile quarterback a little bit more mobile by your play call? I mean, can you move them in the direction that you want, or are you kind of stuck with your footwork that they've got?
No, I mean, you could move the quarterback on boots and keeps and half rolls and things like that. I mean, I think in a structured movement component scheme-wise, you definitely can move those type of players. It's more it's the above the 2.3 second time clock where the scramble phase. Every pass play has an opportunity to convert into the scramble phase, and that's where the dynamic component of these guys is so effective, and that's why I've always preferred the athletic quarterback.
Interesting as you have a quarterback in Cooper who's less than, he's not the mobilest guy, and obviously you want to put him in those kind of situations. I'm curious how you do that. Let's talk about your team. Injuries still an issue. You're going to hit a lot of. Is Bland going to ever? Is he going to go on IR? What's the status of him?
Well, he practiced yesterday.
Yeah.
So that was his first full practice. It's the most he's done, and I'm hopeful when he gets here today that we're moving forward. So if he feels, if he completes the week, Rob, I see him lining up Sunday.
That would be a huge step forward for you guys. Anybody else that is on the edge?
On the edge?
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean Tyler Smith. He's got some work to do, but I think we're going to be okay there. But yeah, I mean it's being on a 6-day week. That whole group of guys is going to need to show it on Saturday. Hunter, the whole crew,
all of them. And as you deal with those injuries, the transition to younger guys, does it make it a little bit easier for? I mean, obviously to get those guys more and more reps as you start looking down the road.
Well, the reality of it, those guys have been getting reps all along.
Yeah.
So it's our young players have practiced a lot and played a lot. So and I think these young guys are improving, and the goal is obviously for it to show up on Sundays.
Let's talk about Micah for a second. All the things that Micah says and does, and obviously the quote about being a damn good football team. How do you take that? And obviously you want your guys to believe that there's the potential for that, but what when you hear your guys go off and say that with the record they've got, what's your response?
Well, I think it's really the look at what's going on inside the walls here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a group of men that believe in one another, and at the end of the day, the belief of the locker room is what's most important. So, because nothing's going to happen, without that belief.
DQ, obviously a friend. Have you guys stayed in contact?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
What's the conversations been like up there? How's he like the new stats and the new folks that he's working for up there?
Oh no, I mean Dan's gets up every day with a bunch of energy, but obviously have not talked to him this week. But no, he's very very pleased with the start and just really the way everything came together in the spring. So he's off to a good start.
Well, Coach, we all are blessed with adversity now and again, and are always better for it. And I cannot compliment you more for how you've been handling it. It's never been easy, and this has been one of those tough weeks. As always, bid you good health and good luck this week, Coach. Thanks for stopping by.
All righty. Thanks, Rob. Take care.
That is head coach Mike McCarthy of your Dallas Cowboys. He's always brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, and he was on our Buyers Barricade guest lines. Hey, we'll react to the coach coming back on the other side. Sometimes you just got to stand tall and fight back and hope for the best, and I think that's where the Cowboys are. Hey, we'll be right back. This is the Morning Huddle. You lucky suckers chose correctly. We'll be here in a minute.
Riding the work with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. It's the Morning Huddle, KTFM Floresville. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We do have a closure due to an accident investigation. Early this morning, a very serious accident. Roosevelt Avenue in both directions, northbound, southbound, is shut down between South Florida Street and Del Lago Parkway. Accident investigation currently underway. Loop 410 northbound, that connector to get onto southbound 151. We've got a disabled vehicle. That connector is partially blocked. And I-10 eastbound Ackerman, that stalls off to the shoulder. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit iffhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
To all you tool people out there, has Harbor Freight got a deal for you? Big savings every single day this November. Because we know that right now, when the price of everything only seems to go up, you need a place where prices stay low. So shop in-store or online for quality tools you can trust at prices you'll love every day. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's winds blowing across a fruited plain, and also your new fire pit, which subsequently sets your gazebo ablaze. It's hard-hitting football, and an even harder-hitting price estimate from your general contractor. That's a star-spangled bummer. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Introducing TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league on ESPN and ESPN Plus. This isn't your average Sunday pickup game. To learn more, visit TGLGolf.com and tune into the inaugural season beginning January 7th. Keep up. It's golf.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because feeling full can sound like this.
How did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
And like this.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the propane tank on your grill first, before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up.
Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The Spurs completed the biggest comeback of the season, beating the Utah Jazz 126-118. The Cleveland Browns blew a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter, but came back with Jameis Winston winning 24-19 on a snowy Thursday Cleveland night. Texas A&M football back in action as they head to Auburn to take on the Tigers. Kick right here with pregame at 5:30. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, gather around. We got a bunch to talk about. It's the Morning Huddle. And no AJ Hoffman today. He is...
he's in court.
He's in court. We expect a full exoneration. He's throwing himself on the mercy of the court.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll leave with just a low jack and a small fine.
Yeah. That's what we're all hoping for. We're all rolling the dice.
Yesterday he was maybe it was the day before yesterday. He said he's down there for a probate thing. This is not
it's nothing criminal.
This is all civil and it's a good day. But he said he was talking to his attorney down there in Beeville. And his lawyer said, "Hey, man, I know we're country, but when you show up for court, you don't have to be dressed up. You don't have to wear a suit or anything, but
don't dress down either."
So I wondered what AJ had worn into his attorney's office for his attorney to go, you know what?
He's probably wearing jean shorts and his boots.
He was
right?
He was
cut-off jeans.
He was wearing his jorts.
No, but
and his Air Dads.
No, they were old jeans that he cut. So
yeah,
they
that's
have
what
the
I'm
white.
saying.
Yeah,
he
the
had,
white threads.
Yeah, they were thready, and his $800
boots.
his boots, and his Bizarro Craft Mead T-shirt.
There we go.
That he got when he bought the only mead that this dude in New Hampshire had ever made.
That mead is really sweet, though. Like, ugh.
Well, I've been told.
Yeah.
That it's made with honey.
Right. And I tried to taste knowing that I was tasting it for the honey, but can't really. It was more raspberry.
Yeah, it was. It damn near killed Edwin.
Yeah. I think Edwin will never drink ever.
How would you like the first alcohol to ever pass your lips?
Yeah.
To be raspberry mead.
Mine was a can of Pabst beer back in the early 80s, and I didn't like it. And I still don't drink to this day because of that.
So it was Pabst?
Yeah, that's what my grandpa drank.
I'm pretty sure the first alcohol I ever drank, obviously, was a stolen something.
Stolen something.
You know, I think
was it
might
Lone
have
Star?
been. I don't think it was beer.
Really?
In my mind, I think it was like bourbon. Like, you know, you grabbed the glass off the dad's table and took a shot.
Oh, yeah.
Which is probably worse than mead. And I managed to bounce back.
Yeah, I thought mead is just real strong.
Well, anyway, AJ's down dealing with his stuff. We will carry on without him. McCarthy just joined us. You know, what's interesting now is the elephant in the room. Because everybody knows. We can't really talk about it because it's not the polite thing to do. But unless there's a miracle, a literal parting of the Red Seas, raised from the dead miracle.
That ain't going to happen.
He is going to be unemployed at the end of this season. Not fired. He's not going to get fired. He's just going to be unemployed. They're going to fix the glitch. The contract will expire. I mean,
but still, nobody wants to get fired.
No, either. But I mean, we have to be realistic here. And I'm always interested to see coaches, and there's probably 4 or 5 of them right now, who no matter what, I'm done. I'm not coming back this year, unless there's a miracle. And there's 3 or 4 that even if there's a miracle, ain't coming back. And I'm starting to think McCarthy might even be that. It's just not going to work. And some of the things that are going on kind of on the side tell me this. Like his star defensive player, Micah Parsons. I've heard Micah use his defensive coordinator, doesn't even know his defensive coordinator's name. He called him Zimmerman. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when Micah talked about, I hadn't even talked to Zimmerman.
Yeah. Zim.
And we know what the relationship was with DQ. In fact, this is Micah yesterday talking about the difference between Zim's offense or defense and his former defensive coach, Dan Quinn.
I think Zim likes to show a lot more. His Mabel 6-man up, that was different. A lot of things different, but also now, since I'm back, he's been incorporating more things that I kind of done in the past. So it's going to be slowly. We're going to keep working things in. We got new things in every week.
New things in every week. We're week 12. That's a bunch of new things.
That's a lot of new things.
Let's talk about what your new things have actually done for you. Have you inculcated, incorporated these things? Cowboys now sit at 2-8. It's their worst start in decades. 5-game losing streaks, the longest within a season since the 7-game losing streak in 2015, and we know what happened there. The good news is Cowboys are 5-1 against the Commanders over the last 6 times, outscoring them on average by 17.8 points a game. That's the herd. They've had the 3rd highest points per game differential against them than anybody else since 2021. Only the Giants, the Bills, and the Titans have a bigger deficit. They've got the second worst cover rate in the NFL. Only the Titans are worse than that against the spread, the ATS for those that care. 81 yards a game rushing this season. That's second fewest in the NFL. Only the hapless Raiders are behind them there. CeeDee Lamb, has 106 targets, which is tied with Garrett Wilson, who is ironically playing for the other biggest disappointment of the year, the New York Jets. But he hadn't had a 100-yard game. I'm coughing up a lung. The Commanders have an 88% chance of making the playoffs, according to ESPN Analytics.
You think that's right?
Yeah, they do. They've lost their last two games, but keep in mind who they're going against. Team's first losing streak of the season, and they started 7-2. Okay. This is one of the 2 games in 7 days. You have 3 guys on your offensive line that we're not sure are going to be able to play. You've lost your starting quarterback and your backup your third stringer is going to play. You've already told us that. You're second to last in rushing, but you're going to have to run the ball to keep that moderately explosive offense from Washington. And I was talking to the coach about how you prepare for a guy like Jaden, because he literally just jumps off the page. And mobile quarterbacks have not been the easiest thing for the Cowboys to deal with this year. Think Lamar Jackson. How do you defend against it? And then I asked him about, that's a mobile quarterback. What kind of quarterback do you like? And he told me, I got a mobile quarterback. And then I asked him, well, what do you do if you've got a statue, a less than mobile quarterback in Cooper Rush? Can you call plays to maybe make him a little bit more mobile? And he said yes.
But he won't.
Well, it's easy to say, yeah, you can, call boots and do all this other kind of stuff.
Right. But
you told me you prefer a mobile quarterback. You told me that you can call plays to get your quarterback in a position that you want him to be, because you just told me that's what you want the guy to do. Well, let's see if he can do it, or if he'll do it. And I think his problem is he can't, because he doesn't have a line that can protect him. He brought up, everything has to go around that 2.5 seconds of release.
And that's very hard to do, and unless you practice it.
Well, it's a 3-step drop, and where's CD? That's our offense. Yeah, 3-step drop. Let's find CD. That's what it's been. And if he's open, he gets the ball. We're going to throw it at him.
If he's not open, he better grab it.
Well, it's 106 targets. He's tied for second. We're going to keep throwing at him. Yeah. That's not going to change. But the problem is everybody else knows that too, and he's either unwilling or unable. And I'm going to put them both equal. I think he's unwilling, because I don't think he feels like he can alter the game plan at all. And I think he's unable, because of the warm bodies he's got available to him, to alter an offense, to do anything that'll keep his team in the game. They've lived off turnovers in the past with an inept offense, and now that's even gone. And he gets 2 division foes in a period of 5 days. He told us the coaches are already looking at giant tape. And, you have to do that.
Yeah,
but in the preparation for a Commanders team, which is you got to win one before you win the next one, it's just one of those weeks where I ask him, you guys are the best at this, or at least you've done it the most.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing? And he said, stay ahead of it. But, what I find so remarkably interesting to his answer, my coaches are already looking at the Giants. Well, I wonder what exactly they're looking at. What do you think they're looking at? Because I just found out this week.
Run game.
They're benched their quarterback. Jones is done.
Yeah.
So what exactly are you looking at? Shouldn't you wait until they actually play the game on Sunday to start really preparing for the team you're going to be playing on Thursday?
Right.
Because the new quarterback's going to be playing on Sunday. We haven't seen him yet. But no, we're
Yeah. So if the Cowboys lose out the rest of the season, what does that put us for next year's picks?
Well, there's a couple teams that have a few that are even with us or worse. There's a couple only 2-win teams.
Okay.
But for all those that are now on Team Tank, and I think whether you're on team or not, Tank is going to happen whether you want it to or not.
Yeah, I was going to say just.
I don't expect the Cowboys to chase a single player at, say, the 4th pick or the 5th pick. I don't know where it shakes out as we sit, but you have to figure they'll end up drafting between 4 and 8, somewhere in that stretch. I think they're going to trade out of it and get more bodies than just one. I think you need offensive line help. You need defensive line help. You need running back help. You don't have any money to spend because
it's tied up on the injured people.
Well, it's tied up on Dak, and it's going to be tied up on CD, and you're going to franchise Micah, and you're not going to have any free agent money. So you need to find a whole bunch of positions. You don't have any money to go spend, so you're going to have to draft them. So if you think it's rough now, wait till next year when it's a bunch of young dudes that really don't have any idea of whatever little corporate knowledge there is, because they'll be playing for a different guy. But it's going to be an entire turnaround. It's going to look a lot like the Washington Commanders minus the dynamic quarterback. That's what the Cowboys are going to look like. Young, with a bunch of dudes that are kind of plugging holes as they try to figure out where they're going to go under a new administration. And we got our coaches scouting a team with a brand-new quarterback that isn't going to play until his first game on Sunday. So you wonder, we got 8 weeks to go. We do our scouting. We get the Giants and the Commanders, two teams that even a month ago we circled down as the Cowboys make their turn and they go through the Thanksgiving week, which is traditionally when they start to catch a little bit of fire and find their momentum. They got the two perfect teams to do it, and it couldn't be any further from the truth.
This Thanksgiving won't be the same, though, because it's kind of like, we know we're going to lose. What's the point?
When was the last successful Thanksgiving? I guess
I don't know. It's just I always look forward to the Cowboys game. It's just been like that since obviously forever. But I don't know. You're just not feeling it.
You know what? It doesn't affect now. It doesn't affect my Thanksgiving at all because it's the same thing. We're all going to gear. Our meal will be planned appropriately. We'll finish the meal, gather around the TV, and most of us will be asleep in about 15
Yeah, I usually fall asleep by halftime.
Yeah, I mean, so that's not – it'll just bring on the naps a little bit earlier, but it's not going to affect my viewing. I mean, we're going to still gather around.
Like we're going to be all hype and yelling in the living room, and it's down to the
it's Thanksgiving.
Last 5 seconds. Like, no, that ain't going to happen.
That's what we do. I mean, we eat our turkey. We watch the Dallas Cowboys. We eat our turkey, and we open the day by watching the Detroit Lions.
Right.
And then we watch the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to do that. It's just going to be a little bit easier to nap through all of this than it has been in the past.
Yeah.
Hey, coming back, let's talk about something that would not have been appropriate to sleep through. That was the Spurs coming back last night, the biggest comeback of the year. And Mitch Johnson, the current and maybe future head coach of the San Antonio Spurs, is starting to sound like a Hall of Fame coach. We'll see if you hear what I hear next. The Spurs with a huge win without Wemby last night. We'll look at how they did it and prospects to continue stacking wins in what is a 500 kind of season. Hold on, we got a lot to do. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Hey, the big day is Thursday for those of us that gather around the grill. You might not be grilling a turkey, but I'm sure there's something worthy of a Thanksgiving meal that you'd like to throw on, or at least if friends or family are coming into town, you better head over to Tri-County Meat Market because they got everything that you need to up your grilling game. I hope you went ahead and reserved your Berber Farm turkeys. If you did, I'm sure you'll be swinging by in the next couple of days to pick them up. The good news about those turkeys is they ain't frozen. You can go pick them up and go ahead and brine them and soak them and rub them and do all the wonderful things you need to do to that bird to get them ready for Thursday afternoon. But what are you going to do this weekend? What are you going to do on Friday and next weekend once you're sick of all that turkey? I tell you what, Tri-County's got what you need. How about a bunch of those fajitas that they've been marinating for about, 6-8 weeks? They're so tender you can cut them with a spoon or a warm breath. What a great follow-up for that on those big Friday football games. Or maybe you got friends and fam coming into town. You want a treat even better. Get one of those big tomahawks and impress the fam. Show off to your uncles that come into town. They're going to stare at you while you grill it, and they're judging you the entire time, and turn around and give them one of those big tomahawks. You know what I'm talking about. Head over to Tri-County today. Even if you don't know what you're chasing, they got what you need, and if they don't got it, guess what? You don't need it. Head over to Tri-County Meat Market. Get something good for the grill, good for the fam, and good for you. Both locations are waiting on you over on Calabria, out on Ralph Fair. A great meal starts with great meat coming from Tri-County. Go get some today, and I know you're going to come by and thank me later.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidda. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators.
Like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidda and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 2023.
When you're hiring, ZipRecruiter's technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. What if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, my daily fantasy game, and it better be yours. It probably is. There's already 10 million people playing it. You better jump in. We're mid-season now, and this is the time to play because we know what to expect. We're fantasy players. We know if Jaden Daniels is going to go get it. We know if Dak Prescott's got it in him. We know if Pat Mahomes doesn't. That's why Prize Picks is so much fun. Your skill, your knowledge put to use, and there's free money. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with injury insurance so that your lineups stay in play even if your players get injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. They put their members first, too. All withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When picks hit, you can get your money in as quick as 15 minutes. Download the app today and use code ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 6:30. The Aggies take on the Auburn Tigers. Presented by Ewald Kubota and the Angry Elephant. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It was the biggest comeback of the year. The Utah Jazz came into town. Never underestimate the need to tank. And the Utah Jazz are in that Cooper Flag chase, Ace Bailey chase, whatever it might be. Only 2 wins. Big centers out. They lost their young draft pick to a knee injury. This is a team that's willing to give you a win if you'll fight for it. They don't need the W's. They're going to try as hard as they can until they have a way out. And they tried as hard as they could until they gave the Spurs a way out. A 20-point lead, a double-digit deficit in the second half. No Wemby, no Devin. And the Spurs come back and take down a team that was willing to give it to them, but that's a team that the Spurs couldn't have taken last year. Didn't want to take it either. They didn't want the wins. So here we see a team sitting at 500, Mitch Johnson, the head coach, and it has become a competitive thing whenever they set foot on the floor. I don't know. I'm not quite there yet where I believe every time they walk on the court, they have a chance to win. We should be. They're 500. And they're beating good teams. They're beating the bad teams the way they should. And now they're starting to stack them. Last night, for the second consecutive night, we had a new court. What do y'all think of that new court? We're going to talk about Project Marvel here next hour. It was unveiled yesterday. That's kind of peripheral. We'll talk about the Spurs' plans and the Jetsons cityscape that looks like they're going to try to build downtown over the next 15 to 20 years. A ridiculously beautiful plan. We'll see if it's worthy. But last night, the comeback's the story. And it struck me as I watched that slow, methodical return that Mitch Johnson is up to the task. I didn't think he was. I still think there's a lot to learn. I think there's a lot to do. But what I saw last night was something that I didn't expect to see so quickly. And I think it's absolutely a product of Mitch Johnson and a younger perspective. We saw Charles Bassey move one seat over last night. We saw Charles Bassey, I think, secure in the very short run the second unit center job from Zach Collins. We've all been upset with Zach. Zach's offense leaves something to be desired, but what has kept him on the court has been his defense. He's a defensive captain. He's a backstop. He's like a catcher on a baseball team. He knows what's supposed to be done, and he's good about telling guys where to be. Now, physically, he's always been a bit limited, but he does understand the game and has played better defense than I think a lot of us expected. He's solid. I have no problem with what he's done defensively. No one should. But offensively, it's just not been the thing. But what we saw from Bassey last night, 5 blocks. The defense was there. The help was there. But more importantly, on the offense, what he brings to the table is an offensive rebound game that we don't have. Even when even when Jeremy's here and even when Wemby's on, he's worth possessions. What Bassey brings to you is more possessions. Offensive rebounds give you more shots, more possessions. And you could see last night that those possessions mattered in the second half. And when the game came down to it, when it came to cutting time, when it was the last 2 minutes, who was watching and who was playing? Zach was cheering on. Now, there's a ripple effect to this. Mamu was given the opportunity first. It didn't quite pan out. Mitch Johnson, postgame, was asked how much his team has changed from last year, where they are from this year to last. Play number 5, Vic.
Okay. We knew we were a better team than that last year. We got into a rough patch, and we were a young team. We kind of spiraled. And it's just nice to see the growth. You know, Pop always talks about the process and not skipping steps. And you see, obviously the veteran presence, but these young guys maturing before our eyes a little bit. Hopefully we can continue to keep that momentum going. Interesting that they were better than that last year. And I do believe, like I was saying, never underestimate the value of the L when you're chasing it. You can – I know that everybody on your team can try hard, and you've heard this on this show many times. Teams tank, players don't. Players got to put good stuff on film. They got to continue to get paid. So they're never going to quit. It's just the kind of player and what player you put on at the right time, whether things can get it done or whether these players are even remotely capable of doing so. The comeback last night, I think, is worthy of discussion. No Wemby. It is hard to put into words how much Chris Paul is going to mean to this franchise. I think we're still seeing what Chris Paul did to Oklahoma City several years ago. They're still benefiting from that. Shai Gilgeous is a better player today because of Chris Paul way back then. That team is better because Chris Paul passed through. What we're seeing, think of what we watched last night. Did anybody out there think that this Spurs roster, minus Jeremy Sohan and Devin Vassell and Wemby, could come back from a 20-point deficit at any point against anybody in this NBA?
But it happened.
It happened with Mitch Johnson as the head coach. You heard him talking about it. The team was, they were better than their record showed last year. I've heard, this is just kind of a sidebar. Have you heard Mitch Johnson's having issues with his voice? That, as every new coach has.
Yelling too much.
You get a little raspy.
Yeah.
I heard, I think it was Don Harris was talking about, they're bringing in a voice coach.
What?
Yeah, to
People are too spoiled.
Well,
man.
no, I'll
Man
tell
up.
you something.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you're a.
Just drink lemon.
Well,
water.
no, if you're like a lead singer in a band and you're having to scream out that same note 6 nights a week, it's hard to maintain. But your players got to be able to hear you. A mute coach is a useless coach, unless everybody learns sign language
or his facial expressions.
And
don't do that.
you know what? I'm glad you brought up the facial expressions.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that we're going to bring up a lot, and I think people point out almost probably too much, is it feels like the Spurs are playing freer because they're not worried about Pop going ballistic on them.
Oh yeah, you know, Pop has that look of the
Serbian
look. Yeah.
Well,
like,
I mean, and getting yanked for making mistakes. Pop has been notorious for the quick.
Why did
trigger.
you do that?
But
right?
I don't think that trigger has been so apparent this year.
Yeah.
I do think that Pop, before getting sick, had kind of wasn't so quick with the trigger because, quite frankly, you can pull one guy who made a mistake, and who you bringing in? A guy who's going to make 3 other ones. I mean, why?
Just let him make the mistake.
And I do think that Pop was getting a little bit better at letting guys play through problems.
Yeah, there you go. That's what you need to do.
But I think Mitch Johnson's getting a little bit undue credit for being a little bit more lenient. He's not any more lenient.
No.
We're seeing, and I'm sure this is with a lot of other voices, who'd have thought anybody would have changed, we would have seen Bassie do what he's doing and get the opportunity to do just that and to close a game out last night. I mean, this guy didn't play at all last year for the most part and is just now finding his footing now. And he closed out and played a huge role in a double-digit comeback and played in the last minutes and grabbed a couple of rebounds. I'm not sure we'd have seen that but for the injury, but that injury has given the Spurs an opportunity to kind of fix something that has been kind of the first thing to fix, and that's that second unit group, the second unit center. Coach Johnson, Mitch, was asked about his second unit last night, and man, oh man, did they ever give him a boost.
I thought that second group definitely, Keldon, Trey, they had some moments there where just you felt that little bit of an uplift, and I think everybody fed off that.
Where do you think Keldon is this time next year? Let's be real. We all thought when the season began, especially that first couple of weeks, where does Keldon fit? He was kind of lost in the offense. He was not really finding his minutes and his niche when he was getting those minutes. That has certainly changed. It's he has adapted to this transition that the Spurs have gone through the last couple of years offensively. The idea of I think we're always going to refer back to the beautiful game, the good to better, better to best, and that's not it. That's about players and positions. The Spurs have adopted this old school motion offense. They've kind of been growing into it over the last couple of years, and it's really starting. You can see it working, and I think a lot of that is Chris Paul understanding basketball more than anybody else there and making it work. But other parts of it is guys like Keldon who now understand what they are going to be good at in this offense. And a skinny Keldon attacking the rim is a good Keldon. And man, oh man, he's not sixth man of the year, but he's going to earn him some talk about it as the season moves on because the electricity that he has offered in with the games that we win, and it's not about his scoring, and the scoring is always the gravy, but he brings a level of energy. I love the tech that he picked up last night with the closeout dunk. That's what Keldon should be doing. I'll pay your fine. Hang on the rim and have a celebration and get your guys standing up and partying. Keldon, player of the game last night, though, Chris Paul continues just to weigh in with intelligence and grit and understanding, and that anger, that the guy that you are afraid of on the court, where it used to be Pop. I'm not sure that Mitch is a substitute teacher where you're not worried about it, but I will say this. Whatever venom was lost when Pop got sick has been augmented by Chris Paul on the court. Whatever you might have been afraid of from Pop, you might not be getting that from Mitch, but I guarantee you the young guys are getting it from Chris Paul. Number 3 is not going to put up with spacing issues. Number 3 is not going to put up with you missing shots. He'll tell you. The things that Pop would have told you that he would have let go, now CP can go ahead and say it. And you can see the difference. They're calling Harrison Barnes, he's Unc, old man uncle. I tell you, this is still just a very good average team. But I think for those of us that probably put a few pennies down on 36.5 or maybe 37 games as a win total, feels a little low. It does feel a little low. It's easy to have fun like this, though, and it's hard to prepare for a Spurs team that really we're still figuring out how we are. But without Wemby and Devin, the tempo of the game changes so remarkably. The things that we want to do whenever Wemby and Devin are there, the spacing and the threes, they're not there. They're not going to be there. They don't have the capability to do the things. That's where that Chris Paul mentality came in. That fell so squarely on him. And he only had like 13 and 10. He won't jump off the stat sheet at you, but anybody who watched that game or had up off the split screen, we had the Spurs on that really cool-looking court. The Spurs are 2 for 2 on special courts this year. And the snowy game on the other side, I have a feeling you're paying a lot more attention to the closeout of the Spurs last night. And by the way, what do you think of the new court? Looks pretty good. I'm happy with, and I kind of was not overwhelmed by the City Edition unis. Those unis aren't bad. They play better on TV as a group than they do individual on a hanger. I'll say that.
Yeah, appearance is everything.
Well, you look good, you play good, but
exactly.
Seriously, I think that our play-in cup court is the best-looking one in the NBA. And I've always been a fan of the dark wood basketball court. The one that looks
like the old Celtics.
Yeah,
like
the wood courts that look like they've been around for a minute or two.
Yeah.
That might have a dead spot, that might have a crack where like a penny could actually fall through.
Right.
I like those courts.
Or where the ball won't bounce on it.
Yeah, but every now and then, well, the Celtics were always notorious for having dead spots on the parquet where you dribble and the ball would just land flat. Yeah. But I like the way a dark court looks. And the Spurs, the area in between the key and the three-point line, they have that darkened kind of caramel-colored wood. I like that look.
That's perfect.
It's a good-looking floor. It really is. And the uni, I kind of went with it, but what they did better than anything else was change those stupid brown warm-ups. Now they look, that looks even better. Hey, we got a whole lot to do, and the Spurs and the Cowboys are just part of it. Let's look around the college football world on the other side. Kentucky is in the calling for Texas, and the Aggies are heading to Jordan Hare. Let's look forward to it. Hold on tight. This is 94.1, and you are on San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working accidents at Wurzbach at Babcock. A stall at 35 southbound Benton City Road is off to the right shoulder. I-10 westbound at 37, disabled vehicle, left shoulder blocked. I-10 eastbound at Ackerman. That stall is also off to the shoulder. Now, according to police, this closure on Roosevelt Avenue, northbound, southbound, between Del Lago Parkway to South Florida Street, will remain in place as an accident investigation is underway for the next several hours. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Don't Mess with Texas and the Texas Department of Transportation.
As you travel on Texas highways this holiday season, remember that Don't Mess with Texas means don't litter. So stay off Santa's naughty list and deck the halls, not our roadways. Don't mess with Texas. A message brought to you by TxDOT.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Do you think when people commit suicide, they go to hell?
No.
Why?
Absolutely
The Bible
not.
says that, doesn't it?
Nope, it does not say that anywhere.
Deep question there, John.
It doesn't say that.
Bob, what do you think?
No, the Bible does actually not say that. They don't go to hell. They go to Toledo.
Which is worse. A lot worse.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Ready, set, shop. The Black Friday sale at Ulta Beauty is on. Up to 50% off the best gifts now through November 30th. Shop Morphe eyeshadow palettes, hair tools like Chi, and MAC foundation and lippies. And ready for this? Starting Tuesday, November 26th, snag $12 mascaras from brands like Fenty and Tarte. Plus $12 lippies from brands like NARS and Kylie Cosmetics. So don't wait. Head to Ulta Beauty today. Get all the best gifts, all at Ulta Beauty.
Hello.
My name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio, and since 1994, I've been representing people and families seriously injured by negligent drivers. Recently, we've all seen advertisements from attorneys here in San Antonio saying their firm does not get paid an attorney fee unless there's a recovery. And maybe you've heard, we don't get paid unless you get paid, or words to that effect. Well, that is what I've been doing for more than 30 years. I honestly did not know that there were attorneys in San Antonio that would represent an injured client and charge a fee if there was no recovery. You see, I practice law with basic principles, one of which is you never need an excuse to do the right thing. If you or a family member has been injured in a vehicle collision, including a commercial or business vehicle, an 18-wheeler, call me. The phone call and consultation is free. If you hire me, I will not get a fee unless there is a recovery. And this has been true for me and my firm for more than 30 years. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
If you're a bacon lover, boy, do I have good news for you. Hi, this is Mike Kilbasa, and we've just made our legendary dry-cured bacon available at H-E-B. This is bacon made the way it was made in the old days, with no water, no chemicals, just 4 simple ingredients and real hickory smoke. The result? A slow-crafted bacon with a bold flavor our fans know and love. Now in a new package. Life is too short for watered-down bacon, so if you don't see Kielbasa dry-cured bacon at your H-E-B, ask the store manager or visit Kielbasa.com to find it at a store near you.
Diamonds Direct's once-a-year pre-holiday store-wide sale is almost over. Now through Sunday, get Diamonds Direct's amazing value price. And for the first time, it's even bigger. Get an extra 20% savings. Virtually everything in store is included. It's the big sale Diamonds Direct is famous for. Hurry, this incredible sale ends Sunday and will not be extended. Get the perfect gift you're looking for at the very best price. For the best selection, quality, and price, shop direct. Diamonds Direct. For details, visit diamondsdirect.com.
Hey there, Cowboy fans! San Antonio Sports Star has something special just for you. Imagine this, you and a loved one, and the excitement of a Dallas Cowboys home game under the bright lights at AT&T Stadium. Well, thanks to AARP and San Antonio Sports Star, we're giving you the chance to make that dream come true. It's easy. Just visit sasportstar.com to enter for your shot at winning 2 tickets to see the Cowboys live. Whether it's your first game or your 100th, nothing compares to being there, surrounded by fellow fans, soaking up that incredible energy. And hey, this isn't just about football. It's about creating memories with someone close to you. AARP knows how important that is, and that's why they're proud to sponsor this special giveaway. So don't wait. Head over to sasportstar.com. Enter and picture yourself in those seats, sharing an unforgettable day. We can't wait to send you to the game. Visit sasportstar.com to enter. sasportstar.com.
It's Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Get a head start on Black Friday all month long with exclusive deals. Right now, get 25% off select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees just in time for the holidays. And get a free select tool when you buy a select battery or combo kit. So don't wait to save. Shop these deals in-store or online now because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/21 through 11/27 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hello, my love. I am your living room carpet. I see everything. I feel everything. After a while, I smell like everything, including Sir Pickles, who you snuggle with while binging that dating show you can't stop watching. So, how about we freshen things up with Febreze Fabric Spray? Oh, and a big spray for my pals, couch and ottoman. Ah, yes, refreshing. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
At Progressive, we know there's a lot of things you can track. Steps, calories, heart rate, your pet steps, screen time, the whereabouts of your favorite celebrity, how long you slept, how long you didn't sleep, how long you thought about sleeping, how long you thought about sleeping. But none of these things could save you money. Unlike Snapshot from Progressive, which customizes your rate based on how and how much you drive. It's much better for your bottom line than tracking your Cocker Spaniel's resting heart rate. So download the Progressive app today.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, we are jam-packed, and it all starts with the Dallas Cowboys. Stephen Jones will join us at 2:30.
Aggies have a big game against Auburn. Andrew Monica, the voice of the Aggies, at 3:35.
And we've got John Machota coming up at 5:15.
The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Reaching the beaches and rocking the streets. It's the Morning Huddle. Just heard from AJ. He said loud and clear in Campbellton, Texas.
That's far.
That's a good country song right there. That's a lyric. Coming to you loud and clear from Campbellton, Texas.
Yep.
Welcome on the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio's premier talk radio show. We certainly got the best studio of any place I've been in.
Right? Yeah.
You want to see what I'm talking about?
Everything's all brand new.
Go to our YouTube feed. Everything's beautiful. See that we look how it transitioned. Now there's nothing in the wall behind me.
Yeah, let's see.
I've got some frames here that
yeah.
If you go to our YouTube feed, these are the kind of things that remember those posters that if you cross your eyes you could see something?
Yeah, okay.
Just stand here and cross your eyes.
Yeah.
You might see
I
something.
see it.
I don't know what you're going to see, but you'll see a little bit more than this.
Let's see.
We're going to talk Project Marvel in about 15 minutes. The single biggest sporting bit of news that will affect you personally, San Antonians, that you're going to deal with today, tomorrow, this year. This is something that will legitimately affect you in one way or another, both either positively or negatively, at your wallet. And we were told just a couple of weeks ago that's all people care about now is your wallet. This is something that was unveiled yesterday, Project Marvel. I just got to know where I park my space drone.
Is that when it's going to be done?
I think it looks like something from out of
Jetsons?
Star Wars, man. The Jetson vehicles. We don't need no roads. We don't need no parking. You'll be flown in on our own private little helicopter pad, little drone thing. We don't need to park cars at the Frost Center and Spaceport.
So what is this Marvel? What is Project Marvel?
Well, no, I'm going to tease it forward. We're going to talk it forward. See, that's a business term. At 8 o'clock, and we're going to talk about what the Spurs want. $4.2 billion of glitter and gloriousness. And they're more than willing to give you an IOU for most of it.
Good old IOU.
I'll be glad to pay for it later.
Yeah, you'll get it.
Hey, Texas fan, you worried about Kentucky? You shouldn't be, right?
I don't know.
I mean, let's be real. This is an elimination game for Texas. And we're now, even though the games this week don't look sexy, I mean, there's a couple of ones that are going to draw your interest. Notre Dame, Army, which,
you think Army's going to go down finally?
Yeah, they're going to go down. They're going to go down hard. I mean, Army's a good football team, but, they're going against
You would think they defend our country. They should always be undefeated.
I think we should be nice to them, and there was a time when they were. But this is a tough one.
Yeah.
So that's one that'll be worth watching just because, Army has a puncher's chance. But everything's an elimination game. Ohio State, Indiana, that is the showpiece game of the week. 2 versus 5. Ohio State can lose and still go. Indiana can't. Indiana has to win the football game.
Yeah, they have to win.
Or they have to look really good in a loss. That's the only way they go. But I do believe
they would have to have higher stats than with the loss.
Well, it would just have to be something glorious that they did that it was stolen from them. They put up 45 and they lose by 2, 47, 4, something like that. Right. Where the quarterback looks like the guy that we expected. They do all the things they've done. Just Ohio State is just different and better, and they lose that way instead of. If they lose 28
to 4. Bengals.
Well, yeah, kind of. But if Indiana rolls out and only scores 14 points with this offense that has just been a juggernaut against whomever they played all year, and then it'll appear to be, you're a paper tiger. You really weren't as good as you were only as good as the competition you played, and you finally got somebody.
Right.
So, but I don't think that's going to be the narrative. I do think Indiana believes it. But I do, if they go down, if they lose, it's over. Thanks for playing. Texas, same way. Texas loses to Kentucky, it's over. But as they sit, they're competing for a conference title too. But you lose, it's an elimination game. A&M, same thing.
If they lose, that's it.
It's it. If A&M loses another conference game,
Yeah,
they're done.
They're done.
And they're out of the playoff. If Texas loses another conference game,
they're done.
Especially to Kentucky, I wouldn't say they're completely done, but they would not. A&M would be totally done. A&M would be out of the playoff. Even if they beat Texas, I think they'd be done if they lost.
Oh, okay, all right.
I do think that if Texas loses to Kentucky in something spectacular, like I'm saying with Indiana or Kentucky acquits themselves well, looks good doing it.
Right.
And they beat A&M, they still might get in according to some other things that happen. But I do know, I feel like it's an elimination game for both. Yeah. You go down.
Coming down to the wire,
it's absolutely over. And we're getting closer to the Heisman Trophy. We're going to be giving away the trophy here in about 3 weeks. Well, just a little bit under a month. Yeah, 3 weeks. We'll be in.
Oh, wow.
They'll give it away the Saturday night of the Army-Navy game, which is traditionally when.
So there's really the top two, really, that they narrowed it down to.
So we're down to Travis Hunter, Ashton Jeanty, Cam Ward, and Dylan Gabriel. Those are the front and center. I can't imagine anybody else is going to jump in.
But out of those four,
3 quarterbacks and a running back. I mean, a wide receiver / everything else.
DB. Yeah.
Travis Hunter is the best player in college football.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's any question that he's not the best player. I'm not sure he's the Heisman Trophy winner. Because what do you define? Is the Heisman Trophy winner truly the best player in college football, or is it the best quarterback?
Well, then they should have a trophy just for quarterbacks. Then.
They do. It's called the Davey O'Brien Award.
Well, there you go.
They've got awards for individual groupings, but Travis Hunter's the best player in college football, and if you're a gambling type, you know the more negative they are, the more likely it is. Travis Hunter is a negative 400.
Mm-hmm.
Ashton Jeanty, my pick, plus 375. Cam Ward now plus 1,200 after the loss, and Dylan Gabriel at plus 2,500. Money on Travis Hunter, who could very well be playing in the playoff.
Yeah.
In the 8 o'clock hour when we look at the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to hear from Coach McCarthy at 9 o'clock. He was here earlier. Well, for those of you who missed it and didn't set their alarm, we'll get going at 9. Jerry had to address the rumors about Deion Sanders, and we don't need it right now, but we're gonna hear from Jerry regarding Deion. But Deion has had the kind of year that has now put him in the conversation to be a head coach someplace else. If you haven't been paying attention, over the last 24 hours, it appears that Deion signed the number 1 quarterback in the country. This kid, Juju, that was going to Florida State, has flipped to Colorado. There's a ripple effect. There's a quarterback that flipped to Michigan, too, over the last 24 hours. These guys all pay real close attention to each other. So Deion just landed his next quarterback. I wonder if that quarterback stays if Deion gets an offer, because I get the sense that Florida State might come knocking on Deion's door.
It all depends on how big the carrot is.
Well, I mean, you get to go home. It wouldn't surprise me. I think I find it very interesting that now Deion's name has gotten very hot, and Michael Irvin started this. Now, the other guys have been talking about what's been going on, but Irvin started it about Deion to the Cowboys, and once that started hitting,
it was a snowball effect.
You got alumni in Florida, and the Florida State alums going, hey, man, you better jump on this while we can if we want him. We can't let him get got by somebody else. So I do think that the opportunity to get this team into the playoff will not only catapult Travis Hunter into the Heisman. Shador is going to be a top 3 pick, and Deion could be the number 1 overall pick as head coach. This was a barn fire in Colorado just a month and a half ago, remember? Yeah. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago. We were watching with popcorn, seeing what was going to happen next. Which reporter was Deion going to freeze out this week? We paid more attention to his sunglasses than his team, and all of a sudden, this team is winning. He's got a Heisman Trophy winner, and he has landed the number 1 team number 1 quarterback in the country.
He's doing something right.
Well,
right?
Well, he's doing the things that we can now talk about that we didn't used to be able to talk about. But I do think that there's certain symbolism to all this. This isn't happenstance. All these things do play in a continuum. Coach Prime is being mentioned for head coach of the Cowboys. Well, let's make sure we get him landed and keep him grounded by making sure that the number 1 quarterback in the country's got enough zeros in his NIL to want to stay. Huge weekend in college sports. We'll keep looking at it. Hey, did you watch the basketball games last night? Texas with a comeback and another comeback. On the other side, it's called Project Marvel. It was unveiled yesterday, and we're going to need to find some Infinity Stones. It's going to cost us a little bit. We'll be right back. It's the Huddle.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday at noon. The boys are on the East Coast for their first of 2 arch rival meetups this season with the Washington Commanders.
I like this kind of party!
Pre-game starts at 11, presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
You asked for it, you got it! How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Carbach Brewing, located in Houston, but they love them some San Antonio. First keg of Carbach that got sold outside of Houston got sold right here in San Antonio, Texas. How about that? And when Eric came in the other day, he was like, yeah, San Antonio is a priority market for us, man. We want to be a part of the San Antonio culture, and that means their product is around. And if you think that I don't want to, it's not easy for me to find. It is. It really is. HEB is going to have Carbach, no doubt. Obviously, your liquor stores are going to have Carbach. But when you go to restaurants, you go to bars, chances are good. Not only are they going to almost certainly have Carbach on a tap, they might have multiple taps. They're going to have cans almost certainly anywhere you go in San Antonio. So it's not that hard to find, and I'm telling you, it's going to up your beer drinking game. You're just drinking a better quality beer. Whether it's the Love Street, their take on the Kolsch, which, by the way, Eric, the head brewer there, literally wrote the book on Kolsch. It's the IPA, the Hopadillo, which is their flagship IPA, or the Crawford Bock, which is my personal favorite. There's something for everybody in the Carbach lineup. So when you're out and about this weekend, ask your bartender, pretty please hook you up with a Carbach.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio, and since 1994, I've been representing people and families seriously injured by negligent drivers. I think everyone knows that driving while using a cell phone, texting, posting videos is dangerous. Study after study shows that use of a cell phone like this is the same or worse than driving under the influence. Yet, many people insist on using their cell phones while driving. I've had many cases where my client was injured by one of these people because they chose to use their cell phone. Who are these people? You and I have both seen them, probably today. Men, women, old, young, minivan drivers, truck drivers, 18-wheeler drivers. I know this. The same person that chooses to use their cell phone while driving is the same person who will lie about it later just to avoid taking responsibility. If you choose to use a cell phone while driving and hurt someone, you'd better hope they don't call me. If you or a family member has been injured in a vehicle collision, call me. Jason Thompson, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400.
Let's face it, winter can be a hard season. It's cold pretty much all the time. Blizzard. You have to shovel. Another blizzard. You slip on ice. But you know what makes winter suck a little less? Getting a free phone. Join Cricket Nation and get a free Samsung Galaxy A15 5G. Ooh, ouch. Welcome to enjoying more. Welcome to Cricket Nation. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. Must open a new line on the $60 unlimited plan. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Fees, terms, and other restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Shop Dell Technologies Black Friday event for their lowest prices of the year. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. Black Friday is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and lots of people are beginning to stress about all the company, cooking, and house cleaning that has to be done. And in the end, the holiday turns into one gigantic ball of anxiety, frustration, and weariness. And the greatest expression of thankfulness for many, ironically, is that it's over. How can this be when giving thanks for blessings in life is such a positive experience? And then it hit me. The day does not create the attitude of giving thanks, but the attitude creates the day. It's like the old saying, it's not happy people who are thankful, but thankful people who are happy. The greatness of Thanksgiving Day is not in the perfect turkey or whether the Cowboys win or not. It's in the moments of reflection on what we are blessed with and then making a point of being grateful. That's a family tradition for the Apshers. Before prayer and food, we speak thankfulness. This is Mark Apsher of the MacArthur Park Church of Christ, encouraging you to take a moment to recognize blessings in your life. Visit our church online at macarthurchurch.org. The MacArthur Park Church of Christ, connecting God and people.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working accidents at Wurzbach at Babcock. A stall at 35 southbound Benton City Road is off to the right shoulder. I-10 westbound at 37, disabled vehicle, left shoulder blocked. I-10 eastbound at Ackerman, that stall is also off to the shoulder. Now, according to police, this closure on Roosevelt Avenue, northbound, southbound, between Del Lago Parkway to South Florida Street, will remain in place as an accident investigation is underway for the next several hours. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The Spurs completed the biggest comeback of the season, beating the Utah Jazz 126-118. The Cleveland Browns blew a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter, but came back with Jameis Winston winning 24-19 on a snowy Thursday Cleveland night. Texas A&M football back in action as they head to Auburn to take on the Tigers. Kick right here with pregame at 5:30. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, happy Friday. The guy with the cannon voice was half right. My partner in crime, my cohort, AJ Hoffman, is somewhere south of Campbellton, Texas.
Yeah, he's there somewhere.
Heading into Beeville. See the man. He's going to go see a judge. See if he can finally cut off that low jack. Don't have to report to the neighbors what he did before. Won't have to register. Get that all taken care of. We're glad you're with us.
All out of the way.
It's a getaway Friday for a lot of people. A lot of people taking next week off. It is the beginning of the holiday season.
Yep. For some people, it's 5 o'clock. For some people, it's now.
It is right this second. If that is you, congratulations. You have made it to the holiday season. Man, it's like the roller coaster has now reached the very top. Remember the old rattlesnake over there at the clicking sound? You'd be up at the top of the rattlesnake, and that wooden roller coaster would be squeaking and moving back and forth. You knew in the next 3 to 5 seconds you were going to suffer varying degrees of whiplash. You just hope that when you landed back at the end of the run, you could feel your feet.
Yeah.
Remember, they had to tear that thing down because people were getting their necks all ripped apart.
Good old days.
Good old days when we didn't care about such things. But seriously, we're about to begin the holiday rush. You ready for this? Black Friday is yet a week away.
But you know what? As time went on, it's like Black Friday is like all month now.
Oh, yeah. I'm already getting – well, we started getting commercials, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But the symbolism of Black Friday, it was always like, okay, now it's safe to turn on the Christmas music.
Yeah, but it's like – it's not Black Friday. It's like Black Friday week.
Oh, yeah. The deals.
And we don't need TVs. We need – what we need is Black Friday groceries.
Special on beans.
Something like, I don't know, just something like 99 cents a pound T-bones at your grocery store or something like that. But we don't need TVs. We don't need electronics of any sort. We get that all. Well,
I want all that.
Yeah, but we get that through the year.
But, now, I mean, I saw like the every year they do the inflation test and like what is the cost of your average Thanksgiving dinner, and it's up a little bit but not much.
I heard them say turkeys were $90 now, and I'm like, nah, I don't know where they're buying their turkeys, but I can understand a non-frozen special turkey for you. I get it, but regular turkeys, no, they're about 20. Well, unless you have 20, 25-pound birds, but
average cost of a Thanksgiving meal.
I'd say, I don't know.
The cost is up. This is according to the Farm Bureau. They do it every year. The average cost, let's see here, it's been steadily increasing. And this is for the cost for a family of 10. Let's see here. Total cost is up 20%. Of course. Turkeys are up about 15%. It is not, I'm trying to figure out, it's about $10 a person. 20% increase over last year. I mean, we're talking full-on meal. It's not bad. It is the time when we are going to wake up on January the 5th when the bills start coming in. You know?
Around the 15th.
I mean,
later on in the month.
They'll just start coming in, and we'll realize, last thing I remember, it was Friday, the 22nd. Yeah. Christmas is done, Thanksgiving's done, all that.
You know what? I remember the Cabbage Patch rush years ago when my mom was buying it for my sister, and I remember the leaving at 2 a.m.
That's done. I don't think that the doorbuster deals.
Yeah, but those were the fun times, though. Like watching everybody go, fight for. There's just a pallet of whatever, and they're just out there fighting.
Man,
come on!
I got roped into that one time.
I did too.
One time, and it was a ping pong table that was on sale at Target.
Oh, God, Target.
So
good luck with that.
My wife made me get up at 3 a.m., which is now just another day, and go down to Target and get that damn ping pong table. So when I got there, it was me and about 8,000 other people. Not everybody coming for it. But I wanted the ping pong table. I just couldn't get the ping pong table from where it was in the store up to get it checked out. There was
no carts or anything to haul it over there?
There was no carts.
Did you drag it?
Well, yes, I dragged it. So I'm standing in this long line with a ping pong table box that's about, it's as
probably
tall as it
height.
is wide. So it's about 6 feet tall, and it's heavy. This thing weighs 250, 300 pounds. I mean, not that heavy, but it's heavy. So I'm standing there in this long line, and it's 4 a.m., and it's one of those mornings where outside it's about 40 degrees, and inside it's about 95 degrees.
Everybody's in there.
You're in there. You're already hot and sweaty. Everybody's hot and sweaty and frustrated trying to get their deal. And then you add in the caffeine. And so everybody's hot and sweaty and cranky, and it's 5 a.m. So I'm standing in this line.
It's almost like a deer blind thing.
Oh, well, no.
You're hunting.
Yeah, well, I'm standing in line with this big ping pong table box, and this kid comes running by and just pushes it. Pushes it over. Well, it falls over on this little old lady.
No,
I'm not kidding. It knocked her down.
And it's your fault,
well,
right?
Yeah, I'm the one standing next to the box with this little old lady underneath this ping pong table.
Man.
I'll tell you what, they helped me out right then.
Yeah.
I was checked out real soon.
Interesting.
But then the Friday rushes, that's done. Now you just get online and hope
I
for
know.
the best.
Yeah, online, and I was just looking online the other day, and Black Friday started, I think, right before Halloween.
I got a question for you. You got a $4 billion laying in the cushions of your couch?
No, we gave that couch to Goodwill.
Well, Goodwill is what we're going to be needing. This was a spectacular unveiling. I'm not going to take what the Spurs and the city of San Antonio and Weston Urban and all the stakeholders, which is a really good corporate term, had unveiled for us yesterday was ridiculous. Anybody who had big dreams for what could be is overwhelmed. We're talking about a complete facelift of the southeast corner of San Antonio. That line, that 37 highway that was built back in the late 60s when we were trying to get ready for, 37 that turned into 281. That stretch, when we built that, it was kind of we they described it yesterday in the unveiling that line, that road kind of separated downtown from the east side. And this, the land bridge and all of that will now finally bring our city together. We're going to bring everybody in. East side will be part of downtown. Downtown will be part of east side. We're going to give a land bridge. We're going to have drones flying us to all these different kind of places. We're going to have, oh man, it's going to be spectacular. But what they said, I loved it. Everything that was brought up yesterday was everything that we would like to have if somebody else was paying for it.
If somebody else was paying.
This, I mean, it is.
No, we need to finish what they're doing now. They can't be talking about that.
We've got time and we've got the wherewithal. And I know yesterday was more about let's put it all out there and then whittle down. Maybe we don't get a land bridge. Maybe we just have a walkway. Maybe we don't completely redo, but we leave alone. Maybe we don't do this. And I think the biggest shock to me yesterday was the incorporation. Now we're talking about a brand new arena.
Right.
We're talking about a new hotel. We're talking about a land bridge that would allow you to walk freely from the Tower of the Americas directly to what will be, what was, and what's something else, the Alamo Dome. We're talking about a hotel space, obviously. We're also talking about another concert venue that would sit about 5,000 people that would be down there.
I don't know.
We were told yesterday that the Alamo Dome is a dinosaur, and we lost out on some 45 or better conventions over the last several years because we didn't have the infrastructure to support some of what the conventions wanted. So one of the other things that I didn't even think about was it appears that they're just going to rip the Alamo Dome down to its studs, leave the frame, and completely rebuild that. So now we're looking at building not just which was just a new Spurs basketball arena. But there would be another concert venue, and then there'd be another whole entire dome or something. I don't know what it would be when they were done.
I'm looking at the sketching or the proposed look.
It's spectacular. I mean, it is hard to fathom what our city would look like when this is all done. And I think I don't know of anybody who wouldn't be over the moon for all of this kind of stuff. Now, the city did tell us they already have in place the request to add a 6% sales tax to 3 miles, anything within 3 miles of the convention center.
Okay.
So you'd be able to, like, rental car tax, hotel tax.
Yeah.
It would all be, that's already in place. They've already requested that. So that would be some of the funding. We talked to Don Harrison, News 4, yesterday as he called in. And I told him, look, my gut tells me that right now, as we sit, that it's probably 60-40 against. I mean, you're going to have to do some convincing. I'm not saying that it will end up being an against vote, but I think on its face, most people are going to go, you want how much for what?
Yeah.
And now I think most sports fans and most civic-minded people understand the value of what the Spurs mean to the city on the broadest scale. But we don't want to offer free stuff to rich guys. I mean, these are rich guys. Why would we give them anything free? They can pay for it. But I do understand that this is kind of a partnership. And I told Don, I think that this group's going to have to come up, in my mind, with half. If we're going to be partners in this, come up with half. Come up with 50%. Find $2 billion, and we'll do our best to find the rest. Some of it through funding that won't require tax dollars, and some of them, most of it that will. Sales tax will play a role with it. There'll be some other things. But to ask for this multi-billion-dollar project, and really there's some other questions to be left out. How much are you willing to pay? Would you be willing to add 6% sales tax for the foreseeable? Well, I mean, for the foreseeable future, and what you get for that.
Well, it won't be done in my lifetime.
It will. It would be they've got. Well, I mean, depending on we're all day to day, right? But we're looking 15 years down the road, and it's not going to all happen at once.
Yeah. So about 20, 25 years, it should be all completed.
I would say the plan is to have it all done in 15. We've got about 8 years. 2032 is when the our lease on the Frostbank Center is done. So we've got 8 years to design, acquire the land, which they already have, and break ground on stage 1. And stage 1 would involve the
finishing I-35 first.
Well, let's get into that in a second. So stage 1 would be the brand new ice house, whatever we're going to call it.
Okay.
The revitalization and renewal of the convention center, because this is all tied into
right.
The Spurs are just a bit part in this whole idea of improving our convention business, and the Frostbank Center will just be part of what we more of a broad city appeal than it is. Let's build our guys a new stadium. You know, the way they're going to sell it to us, and they should, is the benefits will be we're going to bring in 50 new conventions over the next 5 years, each one of them bringing 10,000 people, and each one of those 10,000 people spending $3,000 while they're here.
And our name will be in the pot for the Final Fours. And,
well, no, that's absolutely, and that's the other thing. Once you build it, they will come.
Yeah, there you go.
Not only would the All-Star Game be something that would be imminent, we haven't had that for a long time, but also we have been told by the NCAA, and I think it's fair, that they're not going to come back and play in the Alamo Dome again after the current round selection. So they're going to play the Final Four here again. We got the ladies, I think, coming one more time, but that's it for them. They called the Alamo Dome literally a dinosaur. So we know that to continue to get the Final Fours, we're going to have to do something. So there's a little bit of pressure there. But what they're going to try to sell us is, you know, more than just the 38 home games. More than just the 38 home games. It is an annual, year-round. You're going to want to be down there all the time. And if you're not down there, other people from other places are, and they're contributing to your well-being by the tax dollars they're spending, that $1,000 that everybody spends when they come to San Antonio. And that will help us raise the boat. That's how they're going to sell it. And I do believe to some extent it's true. Now let's be the naysayer. We can't even finish a Market Square project that's been going on forever. How long has La Villita been under construction? 3 years?
Nah, since I was in my 20s.
So you're going to tell me this 7-year project, if we do this, are we talking dog years? Does 1 year equal 7? You can't even finish the little stuff. We are still closed streets downtown for projects that should have been done 2 years ago?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This didn't really make sense when they're talking all this nice, big, whatever. It's like.
And then let's go even further.
Come on, man.
There is not a road in San Antonio that is currently not under construction. So what your plan is over the next 7 years is you're going to eliminate that lifeblood road that is 37 while we dig a big hole.
So somebody needs to convince them that you could build that, but how are they going to get there when the roads aren't finished?
So there's a lot of questions that are left, and funding will be primary, and that's still going to be left vague. That we're not going to. I mean, because if it's me, if I'm behind an owner, if I'm one of the stakeholders, I don't want anybody to know what my investment is till you have to know. Because
that makes sense. I get that.
Because once you put that tax in place, keep in mind we paid the Alamo Dome off in about 10, 12 months. But that tax stayed. That tax didn't go nowhere until it expired.
That was a different time.
But I'm just saying, I don't want to. I mean, I might not have to give as much. Yeah. So I don't think we're going to get the wherewithal.
I just look at it as more for the grandkids.
I want percentages. No, that's the other thing I think we don't want to get lost in, Vic, is this isn't far away. It feels far away. 8 years is not far away. It's not. It is not far away.
It's been 61.
You'll be 61, but think about what happened just 4 years ago, 8 years ago. Just put it in perspective. It was not that long ago. So 8 years is going to happen in city time, in social time. It's going to be here before we know it, and the clock is literally ticking. And as fast as we can, this is a race now to secure funding and put a shovel in the dirt. It is now full speed ahead to get approval and break some ground, because until we do that, until there is literally a shovel in the ground, there is no guarantee that this is even going to happen. Interesting. So we're going to be wined and dined. This was just the beginning. The promotion behind this thing and how beautiful and how wonderful this is. You're going to be reminded of every Spurs memory you've ever had. They're going to pull at heartstrings like you would not believe. And they're going to be right in a lot of things. This city is far better for itself because of the World Championships. This city is far better for itself and who we are as a group, as a social entity, because of one night back in 1999. This city changed, and it's never been the same since. We went from flyover country to a town that didn't really have very high self-esteem. And we put a ring on our finger, and we became a legitimate top 30 market, and you had to talk about us. You had to bring up San Antonio. And you could joke about our fat women, you could joke about our Green River, but you were here in June watching us hold a trophy up. And it changed who we were as a city, as a group. When we walked other places, we're San Antonio. These are the Spurs. Those are ours. And wherever we went with Spurs stuff on, anywhere in the world,
they knew.
And
now everyone's got the Wemby #1 jersey.
So as we come into this, remember how tall you stood and how proud you were 25 years ago when it first happened, and what that meant, because it did get another stadium built. Yeah, and we funded it. What it meant. We're about 6 months of heavy politicking coming. And, hey, nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you want something, you're going to have to pay for it. And nothing in this world is free. Don't.
Yeah, the money doesn't just
I'm not saying
appear.
that this is going to be an easy thing to get through and that we're all going to be happy about it when we write it. But I write a lot of checks that I'm happy that I have what I'm writing it for, but I'm just not happy to write the check.
Yeah.
And there's lots of questions to be asked. And this is going on the backdrop of what's going on the northeast corner of our downtown as they're building that Mission Stadium. The two aren't really going to cross, but then again, the question remains, how much of our city can be under construction at once?
God, I couldn't imagine. I mean, it's bad now, and this is just roads. Imagine just, I'm not going downtown if this is happening.
I'll tell you what.
It'll ruin a lot of businesses. If
What I saw last night, in the comeback that we saw last night, we better get ready for company. We better get ready for a constant stream of big-time playoff games. Beautiful Riverwalk in June. We better get ready.
With clear water?
We like that green water.
Yeah, well.
But what we saw last night, this team is better than we thought they would be ahead of time, for most of us. This is not a 36-win team. They're 2-1 without Wemby. They've stacked some wins, and they had the biggest comeback they've had of the season. They were down 20 at some point, double digits in the second half, and they came back and took them. And things are changing around there. We're going to continue talking Spurs. I'll tell you what, we're looking at a head coach that's feeling long-term. I don't know what you're thinking. We're going to get into Mitch Johnson. Is this something you're comfortable with long-term, or is there something hanging around that we still need to see? Is there proof required? But coming back, we had Coach McCarthy on talking Dallas Cowboys. What's in the offing with the Commanders with an 11 a.m. Eastern kick coming up on Sunday? How close are the Cowboys? We're talking about it next. Hang around. This is the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
A lot of Kentucky types are going to Austin this weekend.
Yeah, why not? Go party on 6th Street.
Sure.
Hillbillies are coming to town. Get ready, Austin.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I got to tell you guys about SA Card House. They got a big tournament coming up next weekend, but that doesn't mean that you can't get out there and play this weekend as well, because SA Card House has tournaments going every darn night, friends. And last night they had a 10,000 guaranteed tournament over there, and there's always something going on. If you're not a tournament player, they've got cash games going literally 24/7. There's always a cash game to be had, and it's just it's a great place to play cards. As someone who was playing in Vegas for a good while, I am really appreciative of having a clean room, good service, good dealers, people who are actually happy to be there working instead of someone who feels like they've been sold into a human trafficking ring that's making them deal cards. It's just a great place to play and to spend time. The food, fantastic. I can't tell you enough how good the food is over there at SA Card House. Foster's Bar and Grill. You don't have to be a member to eat the food there. Don't have to be a member to drink the fine booze at the bar. But if you do want to play some poker, there's no better place to play. They're at 281 in Bitters. Check them out on SA_Cardhouse on Instagram or SACardhouse.com to see when the tournaments are, and I will see you on the tables.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half-geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Diamonds Direct's once-a-year pre-holiday store-wide sale is almost over. Now through Sunday, get Diamonds Direct's amazing value price. And for the first time, it's even bigger. Get an extra 20% savings. Virtually everything in store is included. It's the big sale Diamonds Direct is famous for. Hurry, this incredible sale ends Sunday and will not be extended. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. For the best selection, quality, and price, shop direct. Diamonds Direct. For details, visit diamondsdirect.com.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Jason Minix here from the Blitz for Underdog Fantasy, the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching sports. And I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. Think basketball, think football. You can mix, you can match across your other favorite sports and leagues and win money watching sports. And this season, Underdog will be running a special promo or bonus almost every single day, like Profit Boost. Pump up your winnings in just a tab when you apply the boost to eligible entries. Discounts, you'll get adjusted projections on certain player stats to give you a better shot at the win, and they're basically a sure thing with their free picks. A player just has to get higher than 0.5 for that stat pick to win. All new users get a free pick. So download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Promo code STAR. Must be 18 or over, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
I'm still shivering from last night. I had to run the double screen as the Spurs were in the comeback mode, but so was Cleveland. Jameis Winston gets a second act. Everybody loves a second act. Jameis Winston, it wasn't a spectacular performance. It wasn't one for the ages, but it was enough for Cleveland to kind of start feeling good about themselves. That was an extraordinary football game, not a great football game. We were talking about it as the show began earlier. Is there any more fun thing to watch than a football game in the snow?
Oh, it's the best.
I mean, literally, it's the most fun random sporting event that if you see a football game in the snow, you never just turn past it.
Oh, no.
You have to sit and watch it. And last night, man, that looked miserable. It's hard to believe they were in the same country as we are. I mean, literally, I'm watching the snow blow sideways.
Right?
And I walked out to walk the dog in my shorts, and it was, 68 degrees.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have that here, obviously, but just seeing it is like, how can they play? But I think football should be played in that type of weather more often.
Well, it's certainly
that is football weather.
It was just a remarkable environment. And we knew it was good. The weather was going to be bad. We just didn't know it was going to be bad. Now,
like that bad.
And looking at the game, I mean, this was a win for Cleveland's just very soul. I mean, Kevin Stefanski, I don't know what to make of this guy. I'm going to start comparing him to Kenny Atkinson. That I think is a hell of a coach that just keeps landing in the wrong place. And maybe he'll be able to stay long enough to fix some things. Like Kenny Atkinson kept getting fired from good jobs, and it wasn't his spot. Finally lands in Cleveland, and they're undefeated, or were up until earlier this week. And Stefanski might be that guy. that just let him muddle through this and overcome his owner and GM's mistakes with a quarterback, and maybe, just maybe, this team might be good. It won't be this year, but what they did do was kind of put a mirror on what Pittsburgh's season has been. Because it's been one of those, yeah, you're 8-2, but yeah, you've done this, but. Well, last night they kept trying to do what Pittsburgh's been doing, and they ran into, I think one of those, it was ordained. It was a home game. The snow always benefits the home team. Bad weather always benefits the home team, no matter what they say, and it certainly benefits the offenses. The reffing was a little interesting. I'm not going to say it changed the game. I know that Carl Pickens, George Pickens, wide receiver for the Browns, thought it was more about refs and less about the weather and the snow. I don't know what to make of Russell Wilson's performance last night. I don't think it was bad enough to lose his job, but it did reiterate the fact that this is a 2-quarterback team. I wonder what Mike Tomlin's going to carry on with. Cleveland is Cleveland. They're going to deal with their own issues, but they're not going to be an entity other than it appears they're going to be a hope and dream killer. They're going to be the team that knocks you out of the playoffs just because they can, because they ain't going. I'm not sure what Pittsburgh's going to be. As the clock kind of ticked out, I kind of looked at the Pittsburgh demeanor, and we've watched this team collapse. What was it, 2 years ago, 8-0, and then collapsed? And
yep.
I wonder if there's a little bit of the here we go again stuff going on with Pittsburgh, because they just didn't look very good, and the margin for error for them is so small that it really they don't have a whole lot of room. But on the other side, Cleveland, that's a good football team that might help Pittsburgh stay in it just by the teams that they beat. The comeback, Jameis Winston, the double comeback, the Nick Chubb run, it was a perfect scenario for a guy that needed a second act. And it looks like Jameis is going to get a little bit of a second act, a little bit of a run. They tried to do it in New Orleans and just coaches never really appreciated him, and Taysom Hill was still there, and he kept taking snaps. Well, this is all that they have now. And Jameis looks like he's up to the task. That fourth quarter run, that will endear him to the rest of the Cleveland, both fandom, but certainly the team. Deshaun Watson could have never and would have never done that. Good win by them on a Thursday night that was chock full of sports. We're getting to that time over the next couple of weekends as college basketball really starts to ramp up, where every night, man, there's 4 and 5 things on. Last night, trying to keep up with both the Spurs comeback and the Blizzard game in Cleveland at the same time. It's been a minute since I truly cared about some team not from Texas, and the game itself was so good I was in it. But the Spurs at the same time, I'm having to adjust my attitude about this team.
You got to love November.
Well, we're getting into the time with the Spurs that if we're not careful, we're going to start expecting a win every night. I know that sounds odd to say. I'm not there yet, especially with no Wemby and Devin. I did not expect anything extraordinary. I did expect a win against Utah. But we're getting to the point when you're coming from behind and you're stacking wins like this, where not only should they expect to be competitive every night, but as fans, 500 might not. I mean, I legitimately expect a win just about every night. What do you guys think? What did you see that kind of changed your attitude or reflected what you're seeing? What did they do without Wemby that impressed? First and foremost on my list, Steph Castle.
They made their shots?
Well, I'll tell you what,
Right?
Vic. Yes, they made their shots. And then you have to go deeper into that. Okay. Where were the shots that they were making coming from? Well, they were being made exactly where Chris Paul wanted them to be taken.
There you go.
And that is the key to Chris Paul in this team. Guys are being forced to get into the positions that they're supposed to be in. There's somebody on the court that will get them going. Trey Jones, love him.
Yeah.
But this guy was OJT. This time 2 years ago, this time last year, you know who our point guard was?
Who was it?
Jeremy Sohan.
Oh, yeah.
So I love Trey. I think that there's a place for him on this team. But on his best day, he's not capable of doing what Chris Paul can do. And that's the coach on the court You're going to do it my way. You're going to hear from me, the bulldog in your ear. And things just change when it truly matters. That in combination with an offense that is a little bit more free-flowing than we had seen over the years, and you add in a young coach is allowing guys to kind of make some moves and make mistakes without too much of a ramification other than what Chris Paul does, and that's when you get a Steph Castle who is beginning to round into Rookie of the Year form. He is. I'm watching. Did you see him last night? The combination of Steph at 2 and Keldon at 3 was electric. It was ideal. It was perfect. Now, there were a few less hands on the ball. You didn't have a Devin to deal with, and you didn't have to, feed the big dog that is Wemby. But in that motion offense that they are getting better and better at, that second unit was as good as it could be. This is if you'd have told me, hey, we're going to lose Pop for 10, 12, 14, 20, 25, 30 games, Wemby's going to miss several with a knee contusion, Devin is hardly going to play the first part of the year. And, oh, by the way, you're going to be 500. I think this is the best of all possible worlds. And as the late comeback win was very quickly followed by the Marvel unveiling, things couldn't have gone better for the Spurs. I mean, it's a good little run that they've got going. Let's see if they can continue going.
Yeah, see how long it lasts.
But there's no reason why it shouldn't improve just because the guys that are eventually going to come back. The beneficiary of the injuries, Keldon has found a new life since Jeremy Sohan left, since Jeremy sat down. That's going to be the next challenge. When Jeremy gets well, when that thumb gets better, and we're still a minute away from that. When we look at the future of the Spurs and can Coach Johnson be that guy, it's those kind of little tests. It won't be the timeout in the third quarter, was it appropriate, and did you draw a nice play? It won't be what was your fix to a problem in the first half? How did you adjust at halftime, and how did we look coming out in the third quarter? Those metrics that you judge coaches, no matter their longevity or their experience. We're going to judge Coach Johnson on, can he, when Jeremy Sohan comes back, find a way to get kind of Sohan out of the way? Because he has kind of clogged things up. He does a lot of good things, but the offense seems to be a little bit better when Jeremy's not there. Now, the defense isn't. There's a lot of things that aren't, but that's one of them that is. And we're going to see if Coach, when Jeremy comes back, can he keep Keldon as hot as he has been and get Jeremy back on the court to do what he's good at? And then we throw in the Devin variable. Should he be a second unit guy? This team is very rapidly turning into, you got your ones and your twos, and the twos, while not as many minutes, have equal effect on the game. The twos won the game last night. It was the bench that brought it home. In fact, let's hear from Coach. Last night he even talked about how much that second unit mattered. He said it kept him in the game. Number 3, John.
I thought that second group definitely, Keldon, Trey, they had some moments there where just you felt that little bit of an uplift, and I think everybody fed off that.
Everybody fed off it for sure. Everybody fed off it. Let's not read too much into a beating of Utah without 3 players. But what you can read into it is, how did they react when times were bad, when things were tough? And when you're down that deep to a bad team, you can start looking at each other and play a lot of hero basketball, and that didn't happen. You didn't have Paul suddenly taking every shot available. You didn't have some guy going, I'm going to make 12 points in this possession. We didn't have that. They had guys go out and good to better, better to best, yes, but it was make the appropriate pass and make the shot when it's open. When Harrison Barnes hit that 3 to close the game down off of what was a slightly bad pass, it really kind of summed up that if you make the effort, if you make the right pass, good things will happen. It wasn't the best pass, but it was the right pass, and it worked. Kicked the 3. And here the Spurs go in a place that I just don't think most of us thought they would be, considering no Wemby, no Pop, no Devin, and here they ran last night. Just an extraordinary night that was well-dressed. We liked the uniform, and we liked the court. We're happy, right?
Well,
I think we can improve people's happiness. Let's give away some tickets.
there you go.
I've got tickets to go see. We got UTSA tickets. I'm giving those away in about an hour. Don't go anywhere with that. Right as we begin the daily lines, we're going to give away the UTSA Temple tickets to kick off tonight at our beautiful, soon-to-be reworked Alamo Dome if we do this right. But we do have a show coming to the Boeing Center. It is The Story So Far. That's the name of the band. You want to go? Get on the phone, 656-3776-656-ESPN. The first one to say howdy to Vic, caller number 1, is going to go see the beautiful Techport down there, The Story So Far. Hey, coming back, let's look around the college football world, react to what we heard from McCarthy, get ready for some college basketball, and oh, by the way, is your turkey defrosted? Lots to do. Hang around. This is the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's time to start stuffing stockings, my friend, and say that 3 times fast. Hey, if it's time to do some shopping for the guy around your house, the lady around your house that gets stuff done around the property, head over to Ewald Kubota because you're going to need a big old stocking to stuff one of those beautiful orange tractors, or maybe you're looking for an ATV or some big-time equipment to get a big job done. That's why you head over to Ewald Kubota because they got all that under one roof, and they've been doing it for 75 years. You can trust they know what they got. They take service after the sale as serious as the sale itself. Look, they have been lasted this long because they keep going back because not only do they have what you need, you like them. Those are good folks. The Ewalds. It's hunting season. I'm heading out there today. I wish I was going to be jumping on an Ewald out there. They don't got that. But on my lease, man, orange tractors only. You one of those ATVs that you've been chasing, the ones that are the number one sellings in the United States, the ones that you can modify to fit exactly what you need on your property. Those Ewalds, they've got them. That RTVX is the number one selling for a reason. And if you've been wanting one, now's the time. How does 0% APR sound for up to 36 months? There is money in your pocket doing that. Go find out all the details. That's at the Ewald Kubota or KubotaUSA.com. Listen, it is time, whether it's a big project or not, whether you need a rental equipment or you need some parts for something you've already got. Ewald Kubota should be first and foremost. You know why? Because from the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas for over 75 years, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your commute, heads up on the far north side of town on 1604. Westbound Northwest Military Highway. Got an accident just occurred. Right lane, a little bit of stop and go from Bitters. So about a 5-minute delay. Roosevelt Avenue is still shut down in both directions. Early this morning, a very serious crash. Now it's an investigation. So northbound, southbound still closed between Del Lago Parkway and South Florida Street. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 6:30. The Aggies take on the Auburn Tigers. Presented by Ewald Kubota and the Angry Elephant. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
When your little one has a cold with a fever, try new Dayquil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. It's the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Dayquil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever offers fast, effective cold and fever relief for kids ages 6 and up with a delicious grape flavor that kids love. New Dayquil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever will help them feel better fast so they can get back to the fun stuff quickly. New Dayquil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now, sell the old one later. Here's how it works.
Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first. On your timeline, no waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades at no upfront cost. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first, sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday at noon. The boys are on the East Coast for their first of 2 arch rival meetups this season with the Washington Commanders.
I like this kind of party!
Pre-game starts at 11. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
You asked for it, you got it! How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
There we go. Let's get this on. Now, not quite Domino's time, but we got an hour and 15 minutes. There's a lot of you guys jailbreaking today. Getaway day, Thanksgiving coming up next Thursday. Most of us get at least 2 of those days off. The smart ones, the ones that put in their vacation days back in January, took Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Now everybody's like, oh, yeah, Thanksgiving. I'm going to see if I can get Wednesday off. Jenkins down the hall got it back in February. You're not going to get it. Yeah. Now, see, I, on the other hand, am the old bull that walks down the hill, if you know what I mean. I got Wednesday off. It's going to be a weird week. I'm going to take Monday, be here Tuesday, and then won't be back until next Monday as we finish out the year. AJ not in today. He is standing tall before the man down in Beeville, Texas, taking care of some personal business. He just called in, texted from Campbellton, Texas, said we're coming in loud and clear, the big stick reaching south. We're going to talk a little bit after 9 o'clock. You know, in the NBA world, there are two conferences, the East and the West, like every other sport. This year in the NBA, the disparity in quality of teams is massive. The West has all but maybe 3 of the title contenders. Of the 32, there might be 3 teams in the East that really can pretend or contend to go to a title. The West chock full, man. There's 5-6 teams, which means there's going to be teams in the playoffs from the East with losing records and teams with winning records or close to them in the West that ain't going to go, and the disparity is kind of getting out of hand. I want to talk after 9 o'clock about the idea of eliminating the divisions and just seeding. Is that a good thing? Would it spread the mayonnaise and make some parity there, or is there something to defending the Southwest and winning your division? We'll talk about that just after 8 o'clock as they try to find a way, the NBA sorts, to keep things interesting. This applies to All-Star Game and all of that. And also weigh this with the backdrop of there's going to be expansion in the next couple of years. They're going to add 2 teams. You figure Seattle's due, my goodness, and then Vegas will get theirs. Who gets to move east? Because I know I'd raise my hand. We'll head east. I'd like to get a chance to run through Charlotte 3 times a year and Chicago and all those other lousy teams around there. So does Minnesota get to go east, or does Memphis go east? Worthy of discussion. We're going to do that after 9 o'clock. We'll do the day lines just about 9:30. We'll get you ready for the full weekend there. And we've still got UTSA tickets to give away, but contemplate what you would like to see your NBA to do. Texas, you ready for Kentucky to come to town tomorrow? This is one of those. This is not a trap game. Texas should not. This is not look past, even though A&M's coming around the corner. This is a Kentucky team that's going to come in and play solid defense, but is not what they were. This is a game that you expect Texas to just fully kind of tune up and get ready for what's coming this week. It shouldn't be a trap game. Do you see it as a trap game? I don't. We're going to look at the lines coming up. Nobody else does either. But in the annals of history, these are the games that separate the pretenders. Not the trap games, not the obvious trap. This is one where Texas should be ready. They've had the time. The things have been clicking up. We get a little bit healthy. They should be able to dispatch Kentucky. And I say the same thing about A&M. Different scenario. They're on the road going to a place where traditionally these two land-grant schools have kind of battled it out no matter how good one or the other was. But this is one of those, as it was addressed by Elko day before yesterday. This is a conference championship game. And you can look at that for Texas as well. You win, you advance, you lose, it's over. Now, the one thing Kentucky can do, the one thing that they are going to hang their hat on is keep a lid on the quarterback. Keep Ewers inside the pocket and force him to throw over tall dudes. And if they can do that, they might make it interesting enough to alter whatever game plans are coming against A&M. But I just don't think that they've got it. The game of the week of the year at Indiana, Ohio State. Man, we are all Cignetti fans, right? Aren't we all rooting for this guy? I am. I'd never heard it. Honestly, I'd never heard. I'd heard his name at James Madison a couple years ago, but I had no idea who this guy was or what he was all about. And as he has taken this Indiana team undefeated through thick and thin, rolling into Ohio State and being a top 5 double-digit dog, this could be one of the more fun football games of the season. Vic, I'm going to ask you a question. Who would you favor? And this is a good one for the Brigade Bar. If I ask you to pick,
okay,
who's got a better opportunity just to cover? Army at Notre Dame. Notre Dame.
Army.
You think Army's got a better opportunity to cover against Notre Dame than Indiana does against Ohio State?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Army's pretty strong.
Oh, boy.
Kind of.
We really just don't know.
I watched a few games, but you really don't know what anything can happen.
They're a very good team. I think I'm on the other side of this. I think Indiana has every opportunity to do something. I don't think they need to be spectacular. I just think they need to be Indiana. Don't make any mistakes. Matriculate the ball. Punch one deep. And never let Ohio State get the ball downfield. Let them run the ball. But there's somebody standing. You got a deep 2.
One small mistake from that breaking wide open.
Yeah, you cannot get behind Ohio State. And I think Cignetti understands that. But, he's in the situation because Indiana gets no respect. If they lose, it's over. They go home, and Cignetti never buys another lunch in Bloomington. He becomes the legend. Remember, they're celebrating the last time they did this, and it was like 1969. And all the kids on this team will forever be remembered for the team that almost. But on the other side of this, Ohio State, if they don't win, the hell freezes over and it's all for naught. Even though I think Ohio State can lose and still progress, it would be awfully difficult for it to happen. It is the weekend, the game of the weekend. It's going to be cold weather. We finally get to see some of those snowy games as we get closer to it. And I'm going to be rooting for Indiana. I just don't think that they can do it. In fact, this is one of those weekends where it's a lot of non-conference, little sisters of the poor, paycheck games, get-right games as teams prepare for.
Oh, the get-out-of-the-way games?
Yeah, the ones that the paycheck games, non-conference, just a little bit of freedom before the big game, whatever the rivalry game that's coming here in the next couple of weeks as the teams kind of finish their season up. So there's not a lot of, I wouldn't call them, first-rate viewing games, but ones that I think are going to have such a genuine effect on the outcome and the playoff that we get next Tuesday. Yeah. It's funny when you look at the playoff odds. They're structured on if all things remain the same today. Like right now, I think A&M right now has a 15% chance of getting into the playoff, and while Texas has upwards of an 80% chance, just because right now, as the record sits, that's fine. But the separation games, it makes those odds pointless because all A&M has to do is win out, and they're telling A&M you've only got a 12% chance of winning the next 2 games, which is that doesn't make any sense. If they win the next 2 games, they're in. Texas wins their 2, they're in as well. Best thing that could happen to either one of these schools is to have just one conference loss, but maybe not have to play in the championship game, the conference championship game. I think both of them are angling for the credentials to get in without the requirement of playing in a conference championship game. Because the loss would certainly kick probably either one of the 1 or 2 lost teams out if that's where they were. The 9 o'clock hour coming around the bend. We got Coach Mike McCarthy. He sat in. He sounds a bit like a dead man walking. Yeah, I mean, I think there is this understanding of the imminent doom, but there's work to do before the doom arrives, and it involves the Washington Commanders. We're going to talk with him about Dan Quinn, his quarterback, his offensive structure, and all that. On the other side of that, we'll wake you up to what's going on outside the world. We got inside the lines. We also have tickets to go see UTSA and Temple tonight. That's reason enough to hang around. I'm going to go get some coffee. Why don't you do the same? Yeah. This is the Morning Huddle. We'll be right back.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville. San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to USASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
The gummies were.
The gummies are legal?
Ask J.D. Ryan, man. I bought some, and boy,
you got a Woody?
No, it was awful. He tripped right on. Oh my God!
Did you buy that at the store?
Yes.
They take a while to hit, and when they hit, it just accelerates. And finally, you got to eat some pie.
Because I gave the rest of them to Bob.
J.D. didn't have any pie.
I had no pie.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Oh, Downy in the rinse straight. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
This Thanksgiving, Target makes hosting easy with our lowest prices of the season, like Good and Gather Premium Turkey for 79 cents a pound and quality green beans for 55 cents. Or classic stovetop stuffing on sale for $1.99 and delicious Favorite Day apple or pumpkin pie for only $4.49. Plus, get unlimited same-day delivery with a free 14-day trial of Target Circle 360 to make planning even easier. Save more on hosting. Happier holidays from Target. Restrictions apply.
Lowe's knows you want to get even more value for the holiday. That's why as a MyLowe's Rewards member, you get new member deals on holiday decor, tools, and more. And you earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards to help you save on holiday and more. Not a member? Join for free today at Lowe's.com/MyLowe's Because Lowe's knows deals. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See Lowe's.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your commute, heads up on the far north side of town on 1604. Westbound Northwest Military Highway. Got an accident just occurred. Right lane, a little bit of stop and go from Bitters. So about a 5-minute delay. Roosevelt Avenue is still shut down in both directions. Early this morning, a very serious crash. Now it's an investigation. So northbound, southbound still closed between Del Lago Parkway and South Florida Street. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The Spurs completed the biggest comeback of the season, beating the Utah Jazz 126-118. The Cleveland Browns blew a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter, but came back with Jameis Winston winning 24-19 on a snowy Thursday Cleveland night. Texas A&M football back in action as they head to Auburn to take on the Tigers. Kick right here with pregame at 5:30. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, let's go ahead and jump on. Coach Mike McCarthy joins us every week. He's brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds on the regular. Hey, good morning, Coach. How's your Friday?
It's going well. It's been a quick week. How are you doing today?
Coach, I've been doing great, and it's a quick week. And does it feel? Is this a good time for a quick week?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think anytime you don't get it done, you want to get back at it. So, but as you know, this is the same schedule every week, so you're always kind of gearing up for this stretch.
You guys are good at this. There's no getting around it. You've done it so many times. What's the toughest thing to get accustomed to, other than, of course, your body and coming back from all the injuries? But the turnaround and the scouting. What's the secret to that you've picked up over the years?
Well, just staying in front of it. We do a lot, even in a normal 7-day week, where our coaches work ahead. So you definitely have to just do more of that down the stretch. Like our coaching staff was working on the Giants here last night, and we'll continue to do that tonight and all the way through. Going up to Washington, and probably spend some time at the hotel working on the Giants. So you just got to keep working ahead, and your assistant coaches really carry the water in this situation.
It's crazy to me that you can then put together 2 game plans at once. And when you get that idea, obviously the nomenclature stays the same, but the ideas change. How do you translate that to practice, knowing that just the 4 hours earlier you were looking at the Giants?
Well, I think the biggest thing I know for me personally is just to make sure you go back and I'll watch tape, leading up in the locker room leading up to the game, because I just think that when I was younger, you're, like you just said, you're watching tape of the Giants, and you're working Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday you get into the game, and even as an assistant, you see a defense, you're like, well, oh, wait a minute, that's not this week, that's next week. So, but yeah, it's training. It's part of your regiment, and you have to do it that way. That's the only way you're able to keep up with the pace and volume and stay on top of yourself, scouting all the little things to make sure you're giving the guys a good plan.
Looking at the Commanders, it's a team that looks like they kind of plateaued. What's the film looking like with Jaden over the last couple of weeks? Are you seeing some tendencies that he's kind of landing into kind of situations that you know how to defend him now that there's some tape on him?
Well, I think it's more about the offense too. You get to the common concepts and what's next, but they're coming off of kind of a mini bye week, coming off the Thursday night game. So we'll definitely get more wrinkles than they've showed the last couple of weeks. But he does look very, very, very comfortable in their scheme, and has started out like gangbusters. But I think he's putting together a heck of a year, especially for a rookie quarterback.
I'll tell you what, his comfort, I think, is most surprising to me. What is it that jumps off the paper to you?
Comfort?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you speaking on?
Just as there's some guys just have it. He's got it, but it's hard for me to define what that is.
Well, I think he's, number one. I think that whole group of quarterbacks coming into the league we're seeing was a excellent class, and he was definitely one of the ones at the top. But just his experience in college, he's played a lot of football, has a skill set to run and throw it, anywhere on the field. And I think just the up tempo pace offense he really fits it, and his ability to also stress the defensive contain front with his run ability, keeps him in positive situations when he is in space, and I think when you're able to play that way, run and pass, you're keeping him in a really clean first and second down where he can he doesn't have to do a ton of things from a read progression in the pocket, and they do a nice job on third down, but. The young man is a very natural pocket passer too. That's one thing I know at LSU. I was very impressed with on his college tape. But he's definitely running at a much effective rate in this offense.
How much and this is just a broad question in the NFL, how much of offenses come to the younger quarterback as opposed to younger quarterbacks learning the NFL style?
Well, I think that's really the reflection of the system,
right?
That they walk into. I mean, I've always felt offensively more than defensively, your system has to be able to accommodate the many skill sets coming out of college football. I think defensively, because of the demand of the offense and the number of scheme, the volume of scheme, the variety of schemes that you see, that the profile for a defensive player needs to be more specific to the system. So to answer your question, I think, when you're looking at a quarterback and how you want to play on offense, systematically, I've always felt that, and I've always preferred the athletic quarterback. I was never a preference for a guy that just can stand in a pocket and beat you because, the defensive lines in today's NFL, everybody has 5 number 1 picks up front. So the ability to move the quarterback to me has always been critical. And even when you go back to the San Francisco teams in the 80s, with Montana and Young, those guys always averaged 25, 30 yards of rushing a game. And that's that hidden yardage that, the defense that just would drive you crazy. So I've always preferred the athletic quarterback, and Jaden definitely fits into that profile.
Can you make a less than athletic mobile quarterback a little bit more mobile by your play call? I mean, can you move them in the direction that you want, or are you kind of stuck with your footwork that they've got?
No, I mean, you could move the quarterback on boots and keeps and have rolls and things like that. I mean, I think in a structured movement component scheme-wise, you definitely can move those type of players. It's more it's the above the 2.3 second time clock where the scramble phase. Every pass play has an opportunity to convert into the scramble phase, and that's where the dynamic, component of these guys is so effective, and that's why I've always preferred the athletic quarterback.
Interesting as you have a quarterback in Cooper who's less than, he's not the mobilest guy, and obviously you can want to put him in those kind of situations. I'm curious how you do that. Let's talk about your team. Injuries still an issue. You're going to hit a lot of is Bland going to is he going to go on IR? What's the status of him?
Well, he practiced yesterday.
Yeah.
So that was his first full practice. It's the most he's done, and I'm hopeful when he gets here today that we're moving forward. So if he feels, if he completes the week, Rob, I see him lining up Sunday.
That would be a huge step forward for you guys. Anybody else that is on the edge?
On the edge?
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean Tyler Smith. He's got some work to do, but I think we're going to be okay there. But yeah, I mean being on a 6-day week, that whole group of guys is going to need to show it on Saturday. Hunter, the whole crew,
all of them. And as you deal with those injuries, the transition to younger guys, does it make it a little bit easier for? I mean, obviously, to get those guys more and more reps as you start looking down the road.
Well, the reality of it, those guys have been getting reps all along.
Yeah.
So it's our young players have practiced a lot and played a lot. So and I think these young guys are improving, and the goal is obviously for it to show up on Sundays.
Let's talk about Micah for a second. All the things that Micah says and does, and obviously the quote about being a damn good football team. How do you take that? And obviously you want your guys to believe that there's the potential for that. But what when you hear your guys go off and say that with the record they've got, what's your response?
Well, I think it's really the look at what's going on inside the walls here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a group of men that believe in one another, and at the end of the day, the belief of the locker room is what's most important. So, because nothing's going to happen, without that belief.
DQ, obviously a friend. Have you guys stayed in contact?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
What's the conversations been like up there? How's he like the new stats and the new folks that he's working for up there?
Oh no, I mean Dan's gets up every day with a bunch of energy, but obviously have not talked to him this week. But no, he's very very pleased with the start and just really the way everything came together in the spring. So he's off to a good start.
Well, Coach, we all are blessed with adversity now and again, and are always better for it. And I cannot compliment you more for how you've been handling it. It's never been easy, and this has been one of those tough weeks. As always, bid you good health and good luck this week, Coach. Thanks for stopping by.
All righty. Thanks, Rob. Take care.
That is head coach Mike McCarthy of your Dallas Cowboys. He's always brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, and he was on our Buyers Barricade guest line.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We still have that trouble spot on 35 on the northeast side, southbound 35 at Wiedner. Major accident. Start moving over to your left lane. We only have one left lane open, a 25-minute delay. That's heavy from Evans. They finally reopened Roosevelt in both directions, northbound, southbound, Florida Street to Del Lago Parkway. That police investigation is finally done. Now, if you guys see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line, 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
What's on? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas, open to the public 7 days a week with a country club feel. It's football season, so book your tee times early at golfclubtexas.com and stick around and watch the games. Make Golf Club of Texas your football headquarters where you can watch every game. They'll even stay open until the end of every NFL game, including Thursday, Sunday, and Monday nights. Get into the Tin Cup Bar at the Golf Club of Texas, Highway 90 at Briggs Ranch Road. Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our 11 locations and check out our tractor package deals. We're offering 0 down and 0 APR financing for 84 months or up to $3,300 off select compact tractors. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. Check out our package specials at ewaldkubota.com.
Now through December 31st, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
Football season is heating up, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action while watching football. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. The app is really simple to use. Pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less than their projection, and you could win up to 100 times your money. Prize Picks even invented the Flex Play, so you can still cash out if one of your picks doesn't hit. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code PRIMETIME and get $50 credit instantly when you play $5. That's code PRIMETIME on Prize Picks to get $50 credit instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states where it is lawful to wager. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-277-3355. That's 800-277-3355. 800-277-3355.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 6:30. The Aggies take on the Auburn Tigers. Presented by Ewald Kubota and the Angry Elephant. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime.
I can smell that campfire from here.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So many of us are on the precipice of a vacation week. I just was down the hall, and I was standing next to the news rats over at KTSA, those guys.
Yeah.
The news rats. And they're all jumping off the boat. Trey Ware's going to be gone for a week.
Yeah, they were done at 9, or some of them.
Yeah, he's heading out, man. There's a lot of us headed that way. I can smell the campfire. I'm about to go hunting. About to spend some time doing manly things.
Smelling like deer urine all weekend?
Covering myself in deer urine. Gross. Which I'm going to do something different this week. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave. No? I'm going to leave the house and leave the deer urine at home.
Good. Yeah, don't do that.
I'm taking that. I'm going to go look at some beautiful animals and maybe cultivate one for my very own.
There you go.
I want to thank Mike McCarthy for stopping by. It's so difficult to talk to a guy who knows his fate. You know his fate, but we're not supposed to be talking about it in polite circles.
I know.
You know?
Don't bring it up.
And what strikes me is, I don't know how many of you, of the people out there, know a coach. Not like, you played for a coach. But are good friends with a coach who does it for his profession or her profession, who really is, that's their job. They are coaches, not volunteer coaches, not dad coaches. I'm talking about professional coaches, whether it be in a professional atmosphere, a high school, college, whatever the atmosphere is, that's what you're paid to do. If you ever spend time around coaches, what they say behind the scenes and what they say to the fam and the public and the team are absolutely entirely different, because they look at things in a very clinical way. You can either do it or you can't. And I have to do things for the things that you can do, and I have to teach you to do the things that you can't do. And all that come together to try to get a win. And they are so brutally honest behind the scenes. When they're talking about players, if this player can or cannot do it, they will say it flat out to people, and it doesn't matter. Now, they can never say that in public. Can you imagine the situation that McCarthy is sitting in? Can you imagine the place he finds himself? Now, granted, he got himself into it. This was the job that he chose and got paid healthily to do it. But my goodness, How do you interview a dead man walking? What do you say to a dude that you know, unless a literal hand of God miracle comes down on earth and wills 8 consecutive wins or 7 consecutive wins, that your time here is done? No matter how good a job you do, no matter how much you coach up Trey Lance, no matter how you change the fortunes of steel, it's over. And it's not even by your doing. Your owner's the one that made all the mistakes. You were just stuck trying to coach it. Now, he's got his own issues. We can quibble about a bunch of stuff. But I just want to say, through all the adversity, through all the stuff that he's going through, that guy has never once, not once, said something out of the side of his mouth. And I guarantee you, Tomlin, Belichick, Harbaugh, all the ones that you might put up on that top shelf of the greats, they'd be saying something about their players. Micah Parsons says, I don't work that hard. I guarantee you, Mike Tomlin would let it be known that he knows exactly what his players said. Yep. And McCarthy, good, bad, or indifferent, whatever your opinion of him, has held his head high and gone to work. You might not like the job he did, but the dude never threw anybody under the bus. I talked to him, and I wanted to see if he would actually take that step. Go back and listen to it. It's going to be floating around the socials. We're going to get it tweeted out. Yep. I asked him, I wanted to see what he would say about the situation he finds himself with Cooper Rush. He has an offensive line that is a cheese grater. There are so many holes in that offensive line. Cooper doesn't have 2.5 seconds. He got 2 seconds on a good snap. And that's after a play fake, and that's with a team that's not even blitzing. I mean, he doesn't have any time. And I asked him, what kind of quarterback do you like? Well, I like a mobile quarterback. I like that kid we're playing against today. I like the way that he pressures the edge and takes some heat, forces heat on my defensive end, forces my linebackers to pay attention, all the things that a mobile quarterback does. And on his entire roster, he doesn't even have one of those. His third stringer ain't even a mobile quarterback. His first stringer certainly isn't. His first string quarterback, the one that's making, $250 million, wears a foot brace to go fishing. That's not the definition of mobile. Cooper Rush, if he wasn't going to be the backup quarterback for the Cowboys, was going to be a model for statues. He was just going to stand still and just be that guy. He is a statue. He's a stiff. And his coach, wants a quarterback so totally different in skill set than he is. I asked him, can you engineer it? Can you move the pocket? Can you make he talked about the boots and the play fakes and the rolls. He can't do that with Cooper Rush. Now, he could do it with Trey Lance. Now, Trey Lance would be able to do the first half of that play, but Lance wouldn't be able to throw the ball downfield. So he can't do it with Trey Lance either. McCarthy's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. And you might not like his style. You might not like his attitude. But I'll be damned, he's kept his chin up, and he has not said anything negative about anybody. And it's coming from all places. Did you notice on Friday night that Michael Irvin and Jerry were sitting on the panel of all the fight dudes there at Jerry World talking about? Yeah. And Irvin turned to Jerry and talked about, Deion might look good in this building. McCarthy was in the building less than 50 feet away from where that interview happened. Where Michael Irvin, the face of the Cowboys, the dude that does the fire-up videos that have been so successful this year, Michael, that have really gotten the crowd riled up for that 30-point beating, is already talking about your replacement.
Man, what are you going to do?
Well, yesterday, Jerry was asked about that question, about the Deion possibilities, and even Jerry's like, slow your roll. Listen to this. It's Jerry. Let me give you the right number. It is. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We're See, I'm not sitting in AJ's spot. I can't press the button. See, I have my own. It's like my side of the mattress.
Yeah.
His chair feels weird. It's not dented in the right.
Yeah,
place.
it is your side of the mattress.
This is Jerry yesterday on the Fan talking about Deion's possibility and the strengths and weaknesses that he brings. And I don't have the cut sheet in front.
Yeah, I think it's number 1.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
This is it. That's basically a no. But I want to talk about the reasoning that Jerry used for why Deion would not be, at least at this moment. Now, things might change come February, but right now, at this moment, he's not on the list for him because his best asset as a coach is his recruiting. That, and that should be, for a college coach, the best thing you do, or the second best,
right,
should be recruiting. The first best would be to meld and create fine football-playing men. But secondly would be to get those guys on your campus. But what Jerry doesn't understand is you're essentially running a UTSA football program. Now listen to me on this. Because, the old school idea of what recruiting was is not the new school idea of what recruiting is. Now, the old school recruiting was a smile and a promise. I'm going to develop you. You're going to get playing time if you earn it. And if you're really, really good, I will put you in a position to turn pro. And if you come here, there might be a little something on the side. I can't really talk about it. There might be a little something in a stocking or a little something in an envelope that comes under your door every Friday. There might be a pair of car keys that just lands in your possession that will be a car that somehow is registered to your second aunt. You might get that, but I can't talk about that. That was recruiting the old way. That's exactly what Jerry needs, because he got no money. UTSA has to rely on Coach Traylor and his wonderful attitude and the promises that he keeps. If you're good enough, you'll go pro. If you're good enough, you'll play. I'm going to make you a better person. I'm going to make you a better man. I'm going to make you a college student. And that's what he has to rely on, because the paycheck ain't coming if you're coming to UTSA. You can make more money going other places. Our NIL ain't what other places are. Coach Traylor will tell you that every day. Guess what, Jerry? You got no NIL. All your NIL's landed in three dudes' pockets.
Yep.
You got no money. You need a recruiter. You need a guy that'll talk players to come to Dallas, not because the money that's coming into their wallet, but because of everything else. You'll be a Dallas Cowboy. You'll play for me. You'll go to Super Bowls. You'll be on TV. You'll be selling mattresses. Now, that paycheck might not measure up to the guys in Washington or the guys in Chicago. You might not get that. But if you do come, the other stuff will be here.
That's a big sell.
Well, it's a big sell. But think about what this Cowboy franchise is going to look like in 2 months.
Yeah.
It's going to be without a coach and without a dollar. You got no dollar today. You got no dollar tomorrow. You got a quarterback that just had surgery. You got a linebacker that wants a lot of money. And you just paid a whole bunch to a wide receiver who has yet to have a 100-yard game. You got no money to spend. You're not going to go lure Saquon next year. You could have last year.
Not this year.
Anybody that comes to Dallas for the next 2 years will be coming at a discount and a promise. Jeez. That's it. They're going to have to be recruited by a guy like Deion that says, I know you're a free agent, and I know that across the street, the Texans, the Cowboys, the 49ers, they're offering you $3 million more a year. I ain't got it, but I can promise you this. If you come to Dallas, we'll make up that $3 million another way. You'll be selling cars. You'll be doing something. The tide will rise because we're going to win football games. He's recruiting grown men now, not 18-year-olds. You need somebody like that, especially in the short run. Now, I got a lot of questions about Deion's X's and O's. I think he's a very young coach. He has about as much experience as most young college coaches that have been doing it for about 8 years. Now, he's been playing this game his whole life, and I understand that there is a life knowledge that he brings to the table that nobody else in the world does. I get what he brings. Mm-hmm. But for Jerry to go, the one reason I won't hire Deion, that's the one reason he needs to hire Deion. The one thing that he does great is the one reason you said I'm not going to bring him in. You're not going to have any money. You got a roster that is depleted, top-heavy. You're committed to a limping quarterback for the next 4 years minimum.
Yeah.
You got a linebacker that you are going to franchise, and it's even going to go up. It's going to go up the next time you franchise him, if you even have him. The likelihood of getting traded is even higher. And if that's the case, Deion's skill set will matter even more. I don't know who the next coach is. I think we're comfortable that it won't be McCarthy unless a miracle happens. But I think Jerry's already got a search committee idea, a question that is, he's facing the wrong direction. He's already going to go look at the wrong thing because even now he still doesn't know what he's got or where his team is. He's still looking at this team through silver blue sunglasses. And the one thing he needs, the one guy that could come here and really light a fire and get people motivated, he says can't do it because the one thing he does isn't what he's chasing. Hey, anybody want to go see UTSA tonight? I got the tickets. Get on the phone right now, 656-3776. They're playing Temple. Temple Owls are here for destruction. They're like our Thanksgiving turkey. Let's have some bird tonight. Let's watch those Roadrunners take care. Be caller number 5, and you will be in the stands at that soon-to-be remodeled and beautiful Alamo Dome. Let's talk about Project Marvel on the other side. Let's give away some tickets. We got a lot to do and just a little time to do it. This is the Morning Huddle, and I'm Rob Thompson.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday at noon. The boys are on the East Coast for their first of 2 arch rival meetups this season with the Washington Commanders.
I like this kind of party!
Pre-game starts at 11. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
You asked for it, you got it! How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey guys, it's AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. If you're looking for a place to play some cards, have I got one for you. SA Card House, located just off 281 at Bitters, is the best card house in San Antonio. It's a great environment, great for all skill levels, and guys, you are going to love the food and bar that's attached. Foster's Bar and Grill, they do not mess around. Go by, check them out, or check them out online at sacardhouse.com. They're open 7 days a week. Stop in, maybe I'll see you at the tables.
Nigel, why is there a giant turkey standing on my desk?
That's Harold.
Well, then whisper these words, Nigel. Deep fried. From all of us at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, we hope your Thanksgiving is filled with food, family, and fellowship. We couldn't ask for a better community to be a part of. So thank you, and happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074E M16004.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyer4us.com.
Fabric Talk. Hello, my love. I am your living room carpet. I see everything. I feel everything. After a while, I smell like everything, including Sir Pickles, who you snuggle with while binging that dating show you can't stop watching. So, how about we freshen things up with Febreze Fabric Spray? Oh, and a big spray for my pals, couch and ottoman. Ah, yes, refreshing. Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the propane tank on your grill first, before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up. Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Get in zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road. Get in zone, AutoZone. So what if I need a new one?
We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone,
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jason Minix from the Blitz. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's called Project Marvel. $4 billion, some private, some public.
Man, that's a lot of money.
Glimmering, shiny, fancy. It involves tunnels, land bridges, courthouses, rivers, domes being new domes. It is a bold look forward. Marvel, as it sits, as it was unveiled into our city council yesterday, would involve, as it sits right now, a plan that includes, of course, the brand new arena. It would also include up to and including a complete rebuild of the Alamo Dome, stripped to the studs. Let's do something new and unique. So it's a 2-for-1 deal. And you know it's still got to be good for football. We like those bowl games. You know it's still going to be appropriate for basketball, though the NCAA has already told us the dome as it sits now ain't good enough, and we're not going to play here again after the current round. So we know, and we're not going to give that up. Yeah. So those are two things that I think after all the winnowing, those are going to stay. I think that we're obviously the job one is to build this beautiful new Frost Center. Job two is to get the Alamo Dome back to a level at which bowl games are played, potential playoff games in college sports are played, the semi-annual, biannual, maybe pro team comes, whatever that case is. We know the benefit of having the dome, but having to redo it again after 30 years while we're building another one seems a little odd. Now, here's the other stuff. Now, when you ask and talk to old San Antonians, we talk, I guess I'm an old one, about what 1968 meant to the city. It was a transitional point, a pivot point. We signify it with our city uniforms that the Spurs are wearing last night. We cannot overstate the importance of 68 to our city. But one of the things that when we went through this radical transition downtown and building all of that stuff, Interstate 37 come in, and there are people that look at that as a kind of a dividing line, a moat between the downtown and the east side. And money stops right there at 37. And you go to the other side and everything just falls. There's no money there. But if you come to the other side, there's all the money. And if we create this land bridge, this artificial barrier, that all this growth that we were promised for the east side way back when they built the AT&T or the SBC Center way back when.
Yeah.
They told us we were going to build all the way down Commerce, and it would be this long economic developed area, which was a load of hooey. Everybody knew it. There was no way it was going to happen. There was no backing of infrastructure. There was no plan on how it was going to happen. We just hoped it would, and it never did.
It was just a promise.
It was just an idea. Hey, it should work. Everybody's got to go down that road.
Somebody's got to do it.
You'd think somebody will build a bunch of hotels and restaurants on that road, and it worked for about a block. About a block on the other side of 37.
And then that was it.
And even St. Paul Square has been an albatross for 25 years. We cannot figure out what to do with it. So we know the last plan didn't work. So this plan, hey, we're just going to go ahead and do it all here. $4.5 billion, and we're going to put a land bridge so the traffic will go underground, so there will be this impediment that will be gone. We can freely stroll from the Tower of the Americas all the way to the Coca-Cola bottling plant. And it'll be nice, and everything will be fixed. That's the dream, right? $4.5 billion worth. Now, adding in a 20,000 square foot University of Texas San Antonio UTSA School of Hospitality. Build a college campus down there. That's a good idea. But is it really necessary?
Nope.
I'm just saying. It might be. Somebody's going to have to convince me.
No.
Taking the Judge John Wood Courthouse. Y'all know that one. We vacated that courthouse.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was the federal courthouse. It's that round building down there just on the backside of the UTSA. Take that and turn that into a concert venue, a 20,000 seat.
A
5,000 square seat Maybe an amphitheater. I don't know how they
Yeah.
would do it. Maybe they're going to use the land. Maybe they'll just use the building and turn that into some kind of little dome. Hey, that's something San Antonio doesn't have. We don't have that. The biggest seating we have downtown is in the Lila Cockerel, which is kind of over right there, and I don't think that seats over
No, it doesn't seat that
2,000
many.
people.
Yeah, it's not that big.
But keep in mind, while they've offered us this with the concert venue and the 5,000 seats, that's part of this plan, okay? This is what's going on in this part of the town. Now, if you look to the other side of downtown, the northeast part where they're building the Mission Stadium, that's what they're also going to tell us. That, this new baseball stadium that we're building, not only is it baseball, but it's this fabulous concert venue. And we can use it more than just the 81 or the 120 times baseball is going to use it, whether it be the Missions or college baseball or high school, whatever it might be. We'll also fill it with concerts and other shows, and it'll have that uses. Well, we've also got the Spurs now saying, well, we got this one over here that will also do that. Do we need two? See, these are the questions that we're going to have to work through because we've got two projects that kind of cross because Manu and Tim and David, Manu and David for sure, other Spurs, have bought into the mission. So we're going to get a little bit of cross-pollination. But these are two entirely different things that are going to be going on basically at the same time. And the only reason I bring it up is I don't want one to lessen the other. But both of them are offering us some things that maybe we don't need to duplicate. Maybe we don't need two brand new. I'd love to have two brand new.
Nice.
It would be wonderful.
As long as the parking's good.
But as we see,
that's a big one.
Now, Vic, what you're rapidly going to learn is that's the last thing on the list.
You see,
we'll worry about, we'll park and ride. I mean, that'll be the parking.
Well, the park and ride is probably the new normal. I mean, for
San
stuff
Antonio
down there,
it is.
yeah.
For San Antonio, it
downtown
truly is. For ingress and egress.
I mean, unless they're going to have a huge building with 30, 40 stories of parking. No.
Let me tell you, parking is truly, and for the right reasons,
and
where
are those 5,000 people going to park, right?
Well,
where?
The good question.
At the same time, if you have two?
We're going to use drones.
Yeah.
Drones, Jetson-like vehicles to drop you in. That'll be the last thing we address. Now, the good news is that Alamo Dome property is gigantic, and that land bridge allows parking for all of that.
Okay.
So that would be kind of there depending on what we chase. Now, that's what we know. We also know the city has told us that they've already reserved the 6% sales tax and rental car tax 3 miles from the convention center. They draw a big circle. Every time you spend $1 inside of that circle, 6% goes to the tax to pay for a lot of this. Right. That's not enough.
What is it going to be? 10%?
Well, no, I don't think we can go much more than that.
I think 6.
But
I think 6 is the. That's
it.
I don't think it'll get.
We're not going to take more, but it's going to require more money, and where's that going to come from? We had Don Harris call in yesterday, and I still believe, and I'm going to stand by until somebody can prove otherwise. I kind of want, if you're looking at me as your partner, Weston Urban, San Antonio Spurs, the development guys,
right,
and they're looking at the city of San Antonio, and what the city of San Antonio is, it's just nothing more than its citizens, us. So you're telling me that I'm your partner, that if I give you this kind of money, I come up with this money, that I, as your partner, will reap the benefits when this is all done. Now, I might not get the check written to me, the profit out of it, but I will get the enjoyment of going to this fabulous area, going to the concerts, and all the things that civically I expect from my Spurs and any other institution of wealth and merit in San Antonio, that you kick back to the city. You make this place better far beyond just the paychecks that you write to your employees. So if you're telling me we're partners, then I'm not going to get a check written, but I'm going to get this fabulous experience for the rest of my life, and the tax rate's going to go up, and we're all going to make money in our own businesses. I kind of want you to kick in some more money, because I'm making probably a 20-year commitment. I'm probably making a commitment through taxes, through traffic, more. My real estate's probably going to go up. Now, that's good in the long run. When I sell it, it's bad when I'm taxed on it. But I'm going to make a commitment, and you're still going to ask me to come up with 70% of this? I think we're going to have to come up with a little bit more funding. We're a long way from what that answer is, and they were very specifically and obviously vague about that. But as a whole, I think most of the people that saw it went, all right, dare greatly, dream big. This is extraordinary. This, if we can pay for it, if we can come up with it, and it's not a massive boondoggle collapse that construction goes on for decades and we can't find the funding and we've had officials retire and bankruptcies, the nightmares that we've seen happen in other cities. If we can avoid it, we can have another 1968. We can turn 2032 into 1968. We can turn that into, this was the year when we look back in the year 3000 and go, our city became what we are the moment we did that. And that led us to a pro football team. That led us to a pro baseball team that held on to the NBA forever, and it spurned the economic growth that we were promised. This could be it.
I don't know.
If
Big sell.
we're willing to take it.
You're willing to take the risk?
If we're willing to take it. Let's look at the daily lines real quick. Let's tell you where you can send your money.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered, yeah!
It is going to be a ridiculously busy weekend around the lines. We got brother-on-brother action on Monday night. Got the Harbaughs chasing each other. Kentucky and Texas, Texas A&M and Auburn. Let's start looking very closely at where we're headed this week. Last night, Spurs took care of business. I hope you followed our direction and went appropriately there. Let's start things out today. Temple coming in to play UTSA. UTSA is 16.5-point favorite by what I'm seeing. Not a lot of injuries. McQueen and Cardenas is obvious. Oscar's out with his knee. Sad. But McEwen's questionable with an undisclosed. The bounce-back game last week, Traylor offered this UTSA team that won a football game on 60%, 70% want to. Lots of injuries. Running back came back into square. This should be a fun night, UTSA fan. Put your money on UTSA to cover, and I might even look at the over. We're looking, what do we got the over at 55? I think that the Roadrunners are going to finish this season off with a bang, not a whimper, and heading into what will be a fun bowl season. We got some NBA Cup action tonight. These games matter, so I've been told. It's just different when the Cup is on. The Brooklyn Nets heading into Philadelphia. Philadelphia minus 5.5. That is I've got an Instagram reel floating around right now. Go hit your reels, hit your Facebooks. Think about this comparison. The Philadelphia 76ers are the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA. Would you pick them tonight? I won't. The Brooklyn Nets, I do think they're in good shape. The Golden State Warriors, the best team in the West, a 10.5-point favorite going into New Orleans. I don't know how Steve Kerr has done it. Steph Curry continues to prove that he is maybe the third best basketball player ever to lace him up as he continues to add to his numbers. Number one team in the West, Steve Kerr. I don't see it slowing down. The Pelicans shouldn't offer much resistance. The Pacers heading into Milwaukee. Milwaukee minus 5.5, staying away from that entirely. Late night game if you want to make some money. The Kings are heading into the Clippers, a road favorite, minus 3.5. See what the Kings have been doing lately? I like them to continue that run. In the college football world, not a whole lot of matchups, but let's look at those top 25 matchups as we head into the weekend. Let's see here. Let me find your Texas line. Let's see what we've got. Kentucky, Texas minus 20, 46.5 over under. That's awfully high for a tough defensive squad. I might look at the under there, but Texas should not have much problem at all. A&M hitting the road against Auburn, minus 2.5 on the road. One more game for Marcel to prove that he's ready to go and take on Texas. Pay close attention, Longhorn fans, to the offensive side of the ball. I mean, Aggie fans. Le'Veon Moss, of course, out with a knee. This is a conference championship game. I expect the Aggies are going to bring their offense. The over-under sits at 46.5. I like the over, and I do like them to completely cover there as they hit the road. The college basketball world is interesting, and if you had money going last night, if you had any money on Baylor, St. John's last night, the double overtime game, it got very interesting late. Baylor took it late, did not cover. St. John's very, very impressive yesterday. And as the tournaments the Thanksgiving tournaments go around, some easy money to be had, but some fun games to watch at the same time. Houston's got Hofstra tonight. They're a 28.5-point favorite. Take that money and run. I know that's a huge line. They're going to take Hofstra to the woodshed. Houston is 2-1, and they're just now kind of figuring it out under Sampson. I expect them to roll quite well. Rolling around the rest of the state of Texas. Syracuse, coming off the loss last night, is going to take on Texas Tech. Tech favored by 9.5. Syracuse going to bounce back. That zone that they're still kind of running, that old Boeheim thing ain't quite what it was, but they're better than a 9.5-point dog. I like Syracuse to hang close with Texas. Any recommendations there, Vic, as you play the DFS or the regulars?
Nah, I don't play those.
Why not?
I don't know. Just not into it too much.
I've got 5 minutes left in my week.
Yeah, I'm more about the cryptocurrency.
There we go.
That you don't like. It's a scam.
And I want to thank Vic and Edwin for sitting in and taking care of me today. As I just got a text from AJ. AJ got down to Beeville in time to go get breakfast.
Oh, yeah, what happened?
He is. You know, it's funny how you find people that are a lot like you. He got Carne Asada all over his shirt, and he's have to go buy one.
Are you serious?
That is something that would so happen to me. So I think that's one of the things that's rubbed off. Is AJ will be back on Monday. I, on the other hand, will be out.
Full of deer pee.
What if you could pick one place in the world to be this weekend? You're not abandoning your family, but this is just about you. Where would your happy place be this weekend?
Port Aransas Jetty.
How far out on the jetty? So far out, you got to take your own toilet?
Basically, yeah. Yeah, almost to the, I guess you can say where the light is, at the end of it, but not too far. But that's where all the big drum are.
That's where you got to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the big daddies are.
The drawback to that is if you do catch one, you got to lug it all the way back on top of all the crap that you brought.
Same old from where I'm heading. You chase the big boy, but when you get the big boy,
you got to carry it home.
Ain't always the easiest thing.
No.
You're a dove hunter.
Yeah, I'm a dove hunter.
And you can clean a dove with anybody.
Yeah. There's nothing like the field at the evening just full of feathers.
Just feather and sticky fingers.
Yeah.
Feather and sticky fingers and a little bit of buckshot in your doe.
Yeah.
In your dove. My happy place is going to be in about
Mm-hmm. You all right?
Oh, wow.
Man, you all right?
Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
About 7 o'clock tonight, the sun is set. The hunt is done.
Yeah.
Fire's up.
Yeah.
Cookie, whoever's cooking, got something grilling. So you got the meat on the grill.
Is it a campfire with a pot hanging on top of it, like a big black pot?
Yes, it's exactly how you'd expect. Burning mesquite wood.
There we go. We're out of wood. Well, there's some right there.
The sizzle of the steak.
The smell of the beef.
The smell of the beef. Just about a finger of bourbon. Nice. Friends around us camping, a smoky fire. The dumb one downwind.
There you go.
There's no better place in the world. I hope you find your good place in the world this weekend. Go do something that you love and do it with somebody you love while you're doing it. It's going to be a fabulous weekend. Make sure you're paying attention to what we're doing. We got your Longhorns covered all weekend long. You want to listen to the Aggies? We got them tomorrow. It's going to be a 5:30 get-go and then kickoff. We'll be covering it all week next week. But if you're heading out of town and going someplace for Thanksgiving, take us with you. You don't have to leave us behind. If you'll follow us on the YouTube, you can watch us wherever you might be. Same way with our broadcast. If you're going to be gone all week, you can still stay in touch with us. We want to make sure you know what's going around in our city. Make sure you defrost your turkey if you're frying one. I'm going down my checklist right here. If you're frying one, make sure it's completely defrosted, or you will have a mortar. Someone rang it on the Brigade Bar. I love a fried turkey, but I don't like. Then you don't get any stuffing. I don't like stuffing.
Yeah.
I like dressing.
Stuffing is stuffy.
Well, the only time I've ever had stuffing, I had it at and stuffing is dressing that you've shoved in the turkey that cooks inside the turkey.
Yes.
It's the same stuff, but dressing is not in the turkey and stuffing is in the turkey. I got food poisoning.
Really?
Because the turkey wasn't done enough. And this is from a restaurant. So from that point on, I have never eaten stuffing again. Now, I'll have the dressing, I don't want anything out of the turkey. And I don't eat a turkey unless I know who made it.
Oh, yeah. I'm like that
Never
with chicken
again.
sometimes.
Never, ever again will I do that.
Yeah, I got food poisoning with not fully cooked chicken, so I'm always – it's like the chicken's done. I'm like, well, leave it on there another minute or so.
Do you have any traditions above and beyond just the turkey on Thanksgiving? Like, is there a meal that you make with the turkey on Friday? Is it just sandwiches, or do you make some kind of weird casserole?
We make tamales.
Oh, see, there you go, turkey tamales.
Yeah. We have tamales, and depending on if somebody gets a kill or not, we have venison tamales.
That's its highest and best calling.
I'm telling you. It tastes a little gamey, but the masa of the tamale kind of hides it.
Well, we've made it. It is indeed a Friday, and we're beginning the holiday season. Act as if. Be kind to them that needs it, and that includes you. Thanks for hanging around with us. AJ will be back in the saddle on Monday. Y'all be cool.